Hello and welcome back to Crow Lane. My name is Jess. I'm your game master for the rest of this campaign, and I'm very happy to be here. We are going to start off, as we usually do, with some introductions. Like I said, my name's Jess. I am your GM, and you can find me on the internet at Seriously. I have no bit today because the bit is we're back. That's all. Diana, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Diana. You can find me most places on the internet at Sapphic Stregonona or just Sapphic Strega. You can also find me, I don't know when this is coming out or if this game will be out, but hopefully you'll be able to find my writing in the either out or upcoming little baking tabletop adventure game Story Bake. So go check it out. If you have ever participated in peep jousting as a kid, this one is for you, I promise.
It is very, very good, and there will be some strawberry dragons in that game, courtesy of myself. Speaking of strawberry dragons, which is something I love, and someone I also love is Mara. That's my segue.
That was a beautiful segue. I feel so loved.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mara. You can find me on the internet at College of Lore Dropout or just Lore Dropout. And you can also find me and Diana, surprise, over on Quadrilateral. We're playing a Star Wars 2E game. It might be out by now. I don't know. But guess what? Season 1 is definitely out, and it's very, very good. Season 2 is called Frostfall, and if it's not out yet, get excited! Because I sweat through my shirt. It was so intense. That's how good it is. Yeah.
Thank you. James, passing it on to you.
Hello, everybody. I'm James. You can find me some places at Nice One James, other places at TTRP Gay. I like to mix it up for you. A little scavenger hunt. You're welcome. And you can also find me here in this house where I live, doing so many things. It's crazy. And that's me.
Bree, let's have you back.
Awesome. I'm so stoked to be back. My name is Bree. I use she, her pronouns. You really can't find me on the internet, but where you can find me is typically at City Council. Get engaged, kids. Civic engagement is awesome and sexy, and get involved. It's awesome.
Speaking of engagements, remember when we got engaged? TT!
I do remember that fondly. Hi, I'm TT. I'm so out of practice right now. Hello! You can find me at TT Brett on virtually everything and serving bubble tea sometimes. So that's what I've been up to.
A worthy practice.
Thank you.
Isn't it fun to have everyone back? I'm so excited to see your faces again. I'm going to move on to some announcements. Never done this before, so this is exciting. Announcement number 1. You can follow us on social media. We have that. Most places we are on the internet at Starlight Tales or Starlight Tales _. We like to change it up sometimes. You can find us over on Twitter for our regular updates and announcements and general shenaniganry. That's a word. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok. And you can also find us on YouTube, where you can watch previous VODs, including the previous episodes of this campaign, if you would like to catch up, if this is your newest introduction to this story. We are also over on Patreon, if you would like to support us for new and exclusive content. That's where you can find us. We do all kinds of fun stuff, such as live streams, exclusive writing, lore drops, and early announcements. And speaking of catching up on this campaign, you, for free, can head over to Patreon and find a full recap of Act 1 and Act 2 for you to consume, so you know exactly where we are. You can also join our fan Discord for different chats and community theory crafting, is the polite way to put it. After chaotic tin hat conversations is another way to put it. It's all very good fun over there. We love chatting with you guys over there. It's a good time. And lastly, if you are in the mood or in need of some new dice, we are partnered with Die Hard Dice, and you can use code StarlightTales10 for 10% off your order. And I think that's it. Thank you very much. So without further ado, I will pass it over to our intro screen, and let's get started. Previously on Crow Lane. Our story began more than a year ago with a dream. Though this dream ended differently for each family member, one thing was clear to everyone who shared it. Something was watching the inhabitants of Crow Lane. Since that fateful Sunday, many discoveries have been made. A monstrous bird living inside the walls, an underground crypt paired with a strange ritual, and a network of hidden tunnels beneath the main estate. Not to mention the subsequent shared dreams that continued to haunt the Crowcolts at night, each one holding up a different sinister piece of their family history to look at. But history did not just haunt our family at night. Ruby Davies, mother and grandmother to the Crowcolts, and a woman thought dead for over 40 years, one day reappeared, having seemingly been frozen in time. Then Lawrence Crowcolt, leader of the opposition during the Crowcolt Civil War, also reappeared, this time with an entirely new name and zero memories of her past. Now, after a number of days spent off-planet fighting a corrupted minor god, no big deal, the Crowcolt family returned to their home on the planet of Dorithium, and within just a few hours, discovered that 1, something is not quite right with Ruby Davies, and 2, there is a powerful Fae presence on Crow Lane. With so many mysteries left unsolved, and suspicion at an all-time high, join us now for the final part of our tale, with a very cold and rainy welcome back to Crow Lane. We pick up our story at midnight. You are kind of settling in, ready to take your long rest. Ruby, what are you doing at midnight this evening?
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I think, yeah, Ruby's a night owl. But also, God, she is exhausted because it's been a hell of a couple of weeks. So I think that she, knowing that they likely have a very long day ahead of themselves tomorrow, has kind of started to settle back into her room, gotten into her athleisure pajamas, which is just like bike shorts and a sports bra, and is kind of just like sat on her open windowsill, unable to shake the feeling that something else is coming, not quite able to go to bed yet, and is just sitting there and surveying the grounds one final time before she goes to bed.
Would you make a perception check for me?
Yeah, I would love to. Oh my god, that's a lot of pressure. What's my perception?
First roll of the game.
Oh my god, I rolled like shit, so I'm gonna start burning through my mountain of DM inspiration. Okay, that is a... Oh my, I can't do math. 26.
Okay. So you're lying in bed. The moonlight is kind of like filtering through the panes of your window. And you hear outside, a short distance away, just kind of like something that tells you something's not quite right, a commotion. Directly coming from your birds. You know your birds, you know that they kind of like fuck around at nighttime, usually roosting, usually kind of like chilling out, but you hear like the beating of many wings, and you hear like a chorus of different like calls. And you know how when, you know, something spooks a flock of birds and they kind of scatter, it sounds like that coming outside your window.
Yeah, in an instant, you know, she's up, hunting knife grabbed off the bedside table in her hand, throws open the curtains the rest of the way, throws open the window, to kind of try to see what's happening.
Where you expect to see kind of like the rest of like kind of drifting feathers and scattered little like tiny bodies flying against this midnight sky, you don't see anything. You just see the tree line. Still, there's no wind tonight. And you don't hear any birds.
But I heard them a second ago.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Can I like, did it sound like it was coming from outside, or did it sound like it was maybe the call was coming from inside the house?
Make an insight check.
Okay, cool. Okay. That is a 21.
Sounded like it was coming from outside.
Right. I think kind of with a big sigh, because, I'm not going to bed anytime soon. She kind of grabs her cloak from where it's hanging up, throws it on her shoulders, and will open the window and very quickly, practiced, easily, just, like, slide down the banister and all of the, like, drain pipes on the side of the house, and head outside to try to find the source of the noise.
Yeah, you pad through the kind of like neatly well-kept rear gardens of the Crowcolt estate into the tree line of the forest that kind of lies out the back of the house. There's no sign of like a collection of birds. You kind of see one or two kind of like settled in the branches around you, but they don't seem to be panicked or flustered. Just a regular evening.
Yeah. I'll whistle for one of them and hold an arm out, and just wait.
Do you whistle for anyone in particular?
Whoever's nearby. Consult my family tree of birds, Jess. Consult the 50 crow family tree. Don't do that, actually. I don't remember all of them.
Neither do I. So, what you hear after a moment is the beating of heavy wings as a very large crow lands on all fours.
Oh, there's my boy.
And Crowley, the strange eldritch lands in front of you on one of the lower branches. They're kind of like red glowing eyes kind of peering at you in the dark, and they just kind of like tilt their head at you until you hear like a little bit of a crack, and they just wait for your instruction.
Has there been anything unusual out there tonight?
Unusual out where?
Out here, I thought I heard a commotion.
No.
Nothing suspicious known on the grounds, no sight of Davies.
Nope.
Can I insight check my bird? He's being fucking... I can't tell if he's just weird or if he's being weird.
He is just generally weird, but you can absolutely...
He's just like that?
He is just kind of like that.
He is a little bit just like that, and I love him. I love him for it. Yeah, he is. I'm rolling like shit. That's a 5. I'm putting this dice away.
Yeah, just kind of like your brother.
Yeah, he's just like
a guy of few words and not a lot of conversation.
I understand. I get it. All right. Well, as you were, keep an eye out. Kind of send him back up. Like,
without a word,
release him.
Flushes away back towards the cottage.
Fucking weirdo. Just in case, because I'm feeling #paranoid. I would love to use my primeval awareness really quickly to just kind of like take a second, feel the night air, sense any apparitions, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead present within 6 miles of me.
When you cast this magic, what does it feel like inside you when something pings? When you pick something up?
Oof. I don't think this feels like magic to Ruby at all, because I think that this ability kind of grew alongside all of her like natural honing of her other like outdoor skills. Mm-hmm. So I think it very much is like she's breathing in, she's, smelling the night air, she's hearing all the like tiny little sounds all across the property. But I think it kind of feels like it feels like when your phone buzzes in the back of your pocket,
mm-hmm.
And there's just like that little like vibration of that little like, ooh, something's up, something's here.
Yeah. Well, you don't feel that because there's nothing.
Okay, cool, great.
But good to know.
Fuck. All right, good to know. It's good to know. Awesome. I think for like a second her shoulders start to relax a little bit, but then it's like, wait, actually that's weird, since just hours before I was getting a big ping
mm-hmm.
that from roughly this same area.
Yeah.
Okay, That's weird. Awesome. I don't think that she wants to wander too far from the house at this point because she's a little bit on edge and doesn't want to, like, leave the rest of the family undefended. But I think that she'll kind of start making her way back towards the house, come in the front door for once in her life, and kind of just, like, see if anybody is, like, still up and about.
Sure. As you round the front of the house, you suddenly feel a crunch under your foot, as though you've just stepped on, like, a wet snail shell. And you look down, and your boot has just landed in the middle of a fallen nest. And there are eggs underneath your feet, but they're rotten and black.
Immediately bends to one knee and picks it up. Can I tell what kind of, like, eggs these are? Like, what kind of bird they might come from?
Yeah, make a nature check.
Okay. Alright. That is going to be, what's my nature? That is a 17.
Good. You've seen these a million times before in their rightful state. They're just crow's eggs. But you don't know of any of your crows who had recent broods that they were watching over.
No.
And a nest certainly shouldn't be on the ground. You kind of look up and around, and the nest can have fallen from anywhere because there's no trees directly above you.
I think she kind of takes it in her hands and continues investigating it as she walks back towards the house. I think specifically looking past the eggs and at the construction of the nest itself, because birds they like to take little bits and pieces and things of what's around them to create their nest, like all the stuff that's, like, you know, very soft in the middle and hard on the outside. So, like, can I look through and see if there's anything there that would stand out to me as, like, not normal?
Yeah, I mean, the nest is kind of, after your boot went through it, is kind of mostly in scattered pieces, and you kind of sift through these twigs. You kind of see, like, the collection of, like, moss, but that moss also seems to kind of be dry and sucked up all moisture. There's a couple of, like, soft, downy feathers. And then something catches your eye glinting in the light, and you pull free a golden coin.
Motherfucker. Yeah, alright, Yeah, I think that is when, you know, she had previously been, like, walking back towards the house at a relatively, like, leisurely pace. I think now with a very, very nervous glance over her shoulder, she starts kind of, like, booking it, and, like, you know, not even caring, if she wakes anybody up, like, throws the front door open and slams it shut behind her, and starts much more urgently, like, looking around, for anyone else, in the house who's still up.
Yeah. Who else do we think is awake?
I am taking watch right now, so the tenant can sleep.
You're in the cottage, though, right? And Ruby's going
Oh,
to
that's
the
so
estate.
True.
So
which one of my mommies is still up?
I think, like, after this journey that we've all had, I think, and with the realization that things are sort of off at the estate, I think Reva's probably been in her office, like, and not going to bed, and probably sitting in her chair and sort of doing that thing, you know, when you're, like, you've been working late and you're sort of, like, nodding off but catching yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what startles Riva in this, like, sort of half, like, woken state or half dreaming state, half sleeping state, is probably, like, the first thing is probably the smell of, like, rot, of sulfur, and I think of, like, that must have, like, egg. Like,
it's the smell of death, and it's a smell that you know well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that Ruby kind of just appears in the doorway, as she is wont to do so often. comes over, just drops it in the center of the desk, leans back, raising her arms on a chair. This isn't one of mine. And then drops the coins one by one with a plunk onto the desk. And neither are these.
I think with the nest in front of me, the broken eggs, and the coins, I think Riva pauses to take a moment of like what to focus on first. And I think instinctually she like finds herself reaching for the coin, stops, and then reaches for some of like the egg fragments. Are there any eggs, sort of like rotten eggs left in that nest, or are they all shattered?
Left whole.
Yeah, left whole with shells intact.
Even the ones that went like crushed underneath Ruby's foot, I think, as really, really old eggs do, have kind of like caved in from their own, like how this rot has kind of like weakened the shell.
I want to take one of them and hold it up. And I think sort of like pop it like a pustule, like in Riva's hands. Can I do an investigation to learn more about what's going on here, or about like anything from this nest?
Yeah, either make an investigation or an arcana check if you would like to check if there's any magic behind this.
I think I'm gonna do arcana.
Sure.
First roll
While
in
she's-
a very long time.
While she's rolling that, could I also ask a quick beep 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 question? It just, if there were any like trees or like high places nearby where I grabbed it that it could have easily fallen from, or like if that area didn't have. Okay, yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Cool.
Ooh, this is not boding well. That is a 2 on the dice plus 2.
I think as you kind of like pop this egg in your hand and like its black innards kind of like run down your wrist, you're too lost in your own mind, you're too lost in your own memories of blood and black ichor and those fragments of your past that you try to push back at midnight when they are at the most forefront of your mind. And I don't think you can get yourself together enough to kind of feel whether this is arcane or not.
I think, like, as this egg pops, I don't think Riva hears, like, the sound of the shell. I think she hears screams. And then sets it down. And then with her, like, ichor-stained hands, I think she reaches for a coin. And I think does the same thing and takes a moment to investigate.
Sure, you can make another roll.
Can I give the help action? Because I'm also here looking at him.
Sure.
That's fantastic. Mommy-daughter time. Okay.
Yay!
Back into the mood.
First bonding in 3 decades! Yay!
Yay! That's a huge uplift. So I rolled a 5 for my first dice. Second one's an 18 with the help action. 18 plus 2 for investigation. So that's going to be a dirty 20.
So these coins you've seen a few times over the last year and a half. Ruby, you cannot get that memory out of your head of, last year when these shadowy duplicates of your birds, L and 12, were kind of interrogated in your bedroom and they coughed up these shining gold coins. And you remember Tennant examining them at the time and kind of making the observation that they looked very similar to the material of that golden egg structure underneath your house. And you've seen them kind of a couple times since then. Goldie coughed one up. But these aren't, although they're very, very similar in look and feel to, the currency that you're very familiar with as wealthy people. There's just something not quite right about them. There's just something in the way they feel in your hand that it's different. You can't detect anything necessarily arcane coming off of them. You just kind of... The closest feeling you can kind of like equate this to is probably for you, Reva, as someone who has traded in all manner of, magical artifacts in your line of work, and some of them have been ancient. You hold this and it feels like something ancient, even though it looks like something brand new.
Feels like something ancient, yet looks brand new. And you mentioned these are like a gold coin?
Mm-hmm.
Gold coins. I think what Reva does is like this is... I think it's extremely old-fashioned, and it comes from her old, like, pirating days, is she takes the coin, and despite, like, the grime on her hands, she, like, bites the coin to see if it leaves an imprint, and to see if it's really gold.
You pull it away, and you see the imprint that your very sharp tiefling canine leaves in the gold. And you watch it raise out and disappear.
I think I hold that in front of my daughter.
Too good to be true to think someone just left us a tip, huh?
To that, I think Reva snorts. We have to find out where these came from.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I think that maybe when there's a bit more light in the... Trying to track Davies, figure out where she went, although... If you want to disappear here and not get found by me, the only real place to go is underground.
Be to the place where this all started.
Mm-hmm. Buried treasure.
I think Reva holds the coin and flicks it up in the air for Ruby to catch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lightning reflexes.
Ruby, your hand closes over this coin, and the office door behind you closes.
Right. Don't suppose that's just the house settling either, is it?
I think very calmly, like I reach into a drawer and fumble around, looking instinctually for a knife. That's actually probably been given away, but Reva's forgotten.
Ruby's got like 3 on her body at any point in time and just pulls one out.
I put it in my hand and like invert the grip and stand up. I think I motion for you to stand like behind the door.
Get into position.
And I think I look into your eyes before like reaching for like the knob. And I think you might see like beneath all of the exhaustion and all of like the fear, anxiety, everything that's like bearing on the weight and is like buried into the wrinkles, I think, of your mother's face. There's like a little bit of like childish savagery at the idea or probability of being able to like maybe you're gonna stab someone tonight, and that makes Reva excited, just a little bit happy.
I think that in response, Ruby gets it's very slight, but a very similar, like, wicked grin at just feeling like, for the first time in the last couple of weeks, being like, yep, that's my mom. She's back. We're good.
So, knife in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Doorknob open.
Your wife is on the other side of the door, reaching for it, and you open the door with a knife in your hand.
Planning on stabbing me tonight.
I think what you might pick up is a little bit of disappointment at the fact that it's you behind the door. I'll let you interpret that how you will.
Ruby sticks her head around the side of the door. Oh, hey, Mom.
Were you expecting someone else?
Yeah, kind of. That thing just slammed on its own, so we didn't think it was you.
I think Rodella, like, looks at the door. Was Rodella, like, did Rodella shut the door? Or was Rodella literally just reaching for the door?
You were just 2 seconds ago. You were walking down the hallway. You found it closed. You were just about to open it.
Okay. I think she kind of, like, examines the door and then, like, looks around. When did that happen?
About 45 seconds ago?
Just now.
I think she, like, looks around and she just kind of, like, well, I was walking towards the door and I didn't see anything, and nothing would have gotten past me. So that's great.
Well, we're both so glad that you're here.
Squids.
And I think I don't even acknowledge the squint. And I grab your hand. Like, I quickly do a little bit of like a shift the knife back up the sleeve and grab your hand. And I just kind of say, like, Ruby found this downstairs. And I'd like you to take a look. And I bring you, holding your hand, over to the desk where there's the coins, the eggs, the nest. You'll also probably notice that there's a bunch of disgusting gunk on my hands that I've just grabbed you with.
Yeah. I think she just kind of like glances down and kind of wrinkles her nose and looks at the coins and slowly and kind of subtly wipes her hand off on her pants. And kind of like, looks at this very odd collection of bits and bobs you guys have on the desk. And would it be safe to say that I recognize the coin?
Make a history check.
Okay.
It's been so long since we played together. All I want to be like, hey, can you do it at disadvantage because you're distracted by your hot wife? But no,
well, I got a nat 20, so...
You got a nat 20. That's you got a nat 20 because of the hot wife.
There we go.
Yeah.
So with a nat 20, you undoubtedly recognize it. You recognize, even without the kind of like pirate check that Reva did, that this is a sort of gold that isn't quite what you're used to handling.
Yeah, I think she looks at it and just kind of like glances at the other two and just sighs a big fucking sigh again because she's just so fucking tired of this shit. She's so tired, and they haven't been able to find Ruby Davies, and she's just like, she's at the end of her goddamn rope. So I think she looks at this and she just goes, well, fuck.
Well, a solid lead, if nothing else. Solid of one as I think we'll get right now.
And it's a promise of being able to get to the end of things. Now you, my dear, seem tired and cranky.
What gave that away?
Maybe we call it a night and tackle these clues in the morning.
Yeah, because there is not Ruby Davies running rampant in our grounds, and we don't know where they are. So that's
Well, hopefully not within 6
really
miles,
easy to go sleep.
at least.
We could go adventuring now. What? You're too old?
I think Riddell. I think for a minute, like, she looks at you, and I think when you're looking at her, for a second, you see how old she looks. And it's a little jarring.
I think I see how old you look, and it is a little bit jarring. But that little wink of that little spirit in Riva that just is like excited about wanting to stab something and excited about wanting to go on an adventure just sees her life partner and all of her scars and all of her wrinkles and old age and gray hairs and is just excited to go on another adventure.
I think Ridella's gaze, which was a little bit like drained, kind of softens. And I think she just kind of rubs her eyes and goes, maybe tonight. It would be best to get a little bit of rest and save the adventuring for the morning. But before we go to bed, maybe we should figure out who should keep watch.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to sleep anytime soon. You can stay up first.
Okay, I'll take second.
Right. We'll kind of go over to the desk, scoop up the pieces of the nest and the eggs. We'll head on out and just back over her shoulder as she's leaving. Just like, you know, before I come in to wake one of you up, if you can, like, leave a sock on the doorknob if he's busy, because I don't. Good night, I'm done. And fucking walks out and leaves.
Ruby, as you walk out, you recollect that look that exchanged between your moms and the history that was heavy in the air, and you wonder to yourself if you will ever find someone to live out the rest of your days with the way they have.
I've been here for like 5 minutes. Why are you sniping me? What's happening?
As you retire to bed for the evening, we move over to the cottage where Rose and Tennant are also keeping watch, and by keeping watch I mean Tennant is fast asleep in the bed next to you, Rose. Are you up? Are you on watch? Are you trancing? What are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I think Rose is genuinely trying to keep watch, but I think in the sense of, like, normally in their life, when they've been on watch, there's been other people there. Like, for the first, 30 minutes, there was a couple moments of, oh my god, I just almost fell asleep. And I think to sort of keep awake has started just creating, this unholy series of braids and flowers. First in, Elowin's hair, because she was, on my chest. And then in Aspen's hair, and I think now has moved on to Tennant's hair. And it's just sort of, really focused on all these little braids and then weaving little flowers in. I had a great time, but I am trying to keep watch.
As you are kind of lost in thought, weaving strands of silver hair between your fingers, you hear the kind of of long nails on hardwood floor as your hellhound, brand new as of a week ago, kind of paces outside your bedroom door, and then you hear it pause, and then you hear a low growl.
I think Rose is Thorn in here, the cat.
Sure. She's in a little armchair in the corner, kind of like curled up on a little puff pillow underneath the window.
Can I like peek over to Thorn and see if there's a reaction there? Because like I don't know Kitty that well yet. I don't know Kitty's reactions, but I do know my cat.
I think you can see that like Thorn is like very comfortable, curled up in his chair, but their ears are up and their eyes are open and looking at the door.
I think Rose is like halfway through a braid and has like stopped and has turned towards the door, like looks back at the braid and looks back at the door, looks at a sleeping child on her chest, and just sort of starts to go, okay, how the fuck? I can't get up. And so I think instead we'll just like as quietly as possible, kind of like, I don't know if my mic will pick this up, but do like try and get Kitty to like come over to like draw attention. Quietly, but I don't want to wake my family up.
You wait a couple seconds. You wait for that kind of like tick, tick, tick of like nails on the floor. And all you hear after a beat is another low growl. A little bit further away this time.
Okay. I think I will reach over to my circlet, which is probably like on the bedside table, and I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals. And then just in a whisper, I think to Thorn, because Thorn is closer but is clearly kind of hearing something, we'll just, hey, what do you hear, Thorn? What is it?
Thorn kind of like looks over at you and does that like cat yawn where they're like, ah, like their tongue, like, and then stretches and goes, I don't know, that dog is so annoying.
Yes, I know, you're very brave. Do you hear anything other than the dog, though?
No.
Okay. You can go back to sleep. I'll handle it. Don't you worry.
Kind of like tucks its face and its like tail covers its face.
I think Rose will then kind of like very gently try to shuffle Elowen onto the bed. I'm gonna try to like sneak out.
She's dead weight on you. It's really not that difficult.
Slay. I think I'm also trying not to shift the bed enough to wake Tennant up, because I think of the 4 on the bed, Tennant is the most likely to stir. So I'm just gonna like very gently and gingerly kind of shift things over and start creeping out to where the dog is.
No, he stays asleep.
Cool. Then yeah, I'll take my circlet, but I think kind of just stand in the doorway and creak the door open to see if I can see the dog.
Yeah, you see the dog's hindquarters kind of like, you peek through into your living room and you kind of see the dog's hindquarters, and its tail, instead of, kind of like relaxed wagging position, is like, it's like every part of its hindquarters is stiff, as if it's like standing to attention.
Do I know the direction that it's facing? Is there a window there, or do I get the sense it's looking at something like, or sensing something in the living room?
There is no window on that side of your room.
Okay. I think I will use I don't know if I've used this before, my Eldritch Adept feat to cast Detect Magic at will, and then sort of slowly begin creeping out. I'd like to stealth, if I can. I don't know if there's anything here that'll assist me, hopefully not, but I would like to, try to sneak up.
Yeah, make a stealth check.
Okay. Oh, Jesus, we're all rolling bad today, aren't we? That's a 13.
Roll for the dog. The dog doesn't notice you.
Oh god, I want to scare the hell out.
You don't get anything new pinging from your detect magic. You can kind of sense the innate, typical background magic that you would in your own home, and from this, the magical auras in different various places in the house, but you don't sense anything new or overpowering. And as are you moving into the living room?
Yeah, I will. I think as I get a little bit closer, if I don't hear any movement, I'll let my footfalls a little bit harder so I don't scare the shit out of the dog, but right as I'm kind of rounding the corner.
Sure. And I think as you round the corner, you can see the hellhound's kind of ear, Kitty's ear, kind of flicks in your direction as if it's acknowledged you, but its whole body is pointing away from you, and it doesn't turn to look at you. It's just pointing at an empty corner of the living room. You've got kind of like the fireplace in front of you with this like ornate mirror above it and these kind of like twisting vines around the fireplace, and you know, the coals that have gone out and gone cold. And then you've kind of got like the sofa along like the left side of this wall, and it's just staring in this like, I think maybe there's like maybe a little mini coffee table in that corner, but there is nothing. And it's just staring at this corner. And again, as you like approach it and its ears flick, Kitty just gives this like low rumble in its chest.
How did you know this is one of the things that I, James the Human Man, go about in horror? Anyway, I think, I don't know if, because hellhounds are not dogs, so I don't know that like speak with animals works with that, but I think, anything new on detect magic from that corner?
No.
Oh, I should have kept true sight. God damn it. I think I will just sort of like take a step forward and like very gently like rest a hand on like between Kitty's ears. Yeah, oh god. I am useless here, but I think I was gonna step forward, but I think I'm just gonna stand there and I'm just going to very softly say, Ruby, is that you?
You don't get anything back, but as you kind of like rest your hand in between Kitty's pinned back ears, she gives this like low whine in her throat.
I think I will just like take a couple of like long strides towards the corner in the hopes that like, I don't think anybody is invisible there, but if they are, in the hopes that I can like bump into them and sense them there before they can step away. And also just to feel if like anything in the air changes, if like, yeah.
You walk over, how close do you get into this corner of the room? You kind of like trying to blockade it, or you kind of like sweeping your hands out? Like, what are you doing here?
I think I am just like walking up to the coffee table.
The closer you get to the coffee table, the colder the air becomes.
I hate that. Thank you. Oh boy.
Are there any lights on in this living room?
There's probably like a light, I imagine, in a house full of kids who are probably scared of the dark, and two adults who are also probably a little bit scared of the dark. Probably like a light.
As you walk towards this corner, the light flickers.
Okay. What do I have here? Oh boy. Can I like sweep my hand out to touch the corner of the room just to like do my due diligence here and make sure I don't feel anything?
Yeah. You don't feel anything. You feel that like cold air, kind of like it's not a breeze, it's not a draft, it's just like a chill. And then suddenly it's gone.
Oh.
And the light stops flickering and kind of like comes back to its normal brightness. And Kitty kind of like sits down and its hackles relax.
I think that Rose just like stands a little bit just like befuddled at the corner and then just like turns to look at Kitty and just kind of, what was that, huh?
Make a perception check.
I would love to do that. Okay, that's not too bad. That's 23.
23? You kind of turn to kind of like look at Kitty. Something out of the corner of your eye registers. And you glance in the mirror above the fireplace and you just see a woman. The flash of a woman.
Okay. Heading in, like, towards the front door or towards where my family is?
They are still, and you blink and it's gone. If you want to make some sort of insight check or, like, history check, because they're at the very end of that hallway that the mirror is facing, you don't get a good look at their features.
Okay, but I can make an insight check?
Yeah, make a Make whatever kind of fucking check you want to make. I don't know what a recognition check is.
I would love to make an insight check because I'm pretty good at those.
Mhm.
Not when I roll like that. 15?
Looks like Nadette.
Okay. Cool. No doubt. Yeah, that's fine. I, James, feel great about that. I think that... Here's the thing. I think that Rose is not, like, super unused to Nadette sneaking into the house, even though
No,
it has happened
100%.
super recently.
Yeah.
I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Sending to Nadette.
Sure.
And I'm just going to say, hi. Gonna be an odd... I realized I didn't count. I'm gonna be an odd question. If the answer is no, are you in my house right now? And invisible?
Nadette, I can tell you for free, you're not in Rose's house right now.
I'm shocked. I think I'll send back. You can tell the response is very sleepy. No, I'm not. Do you need me to be?
Now I roll above a 5, sure. I think Rose considers for like a long minute. And I think, like, looks at Kitty. Does Kitty still look, like, chill?
Kitty's just, like, looking at you, like, tail wagging, kind of, like, is, like, relaxed, like, yeah, I did good.
Oh, we're kind of, like, scratching behind the ears a little bit. And I think I'll cast Sending again, and I'll just say, I don't think so, but something was just in my house. In the mirror, and it looked like you. Keep an eye out.
Got it. I mean, it wasn't, but it's really rude that someone stole my look. So we'll let the message in.
I don't answer, but I laugh a little bit. And I think I will just take, like, the next couple of minutes to... I'll, like, try to get Kitty to follow me. And I will just, I think, walk through the entire house looking for anything astray or, looking for that same feeling.
Yeah, Kitty, like, trots next to you, kind of, like, every so often kind of, like, snuffles at the floor. But you don't get anything else. No more lights flickers. No more cold chill.
Okay. I think once I've kind of walked to the house... I think I will bring Kitty in to the bedroom and I'll have her, like, sleep either on the bed or, like, next to us, and I'll get back into bed, and I think Rose is, like, wide awake and focused for the rest of the watch, and probably lets tenants sleep a little bit longer than they should. Yeah. I'm just keeping an eye out for the rest of the night.
Nadette, after this phone call, which I assume kind of woke you up, what are you doing?
Nadette is laying in bed next to her very sleepy girlfriend. I feel like Nadette gave the full run-through of absolutely everything that happened, and Sam kept nodding off, or, like, in her sleep being like, and then what? The whole time. But I think since this story is wrapped up, Sam's asleep, and Nadette is just kind of, like, really tired, but also, like, is full of energy and is, like, kind of circling between, like, I should sleep and, like, I need to go, like, run a lap outside. Like, I have the zoomies. Kind of, like, waffling between those two.
Do you settle on one?
I think after that call, Nadette is gonna be like, alright, if there's something weird and I want to, like, run around, let me just, like, do a quick lap, give it a quick check, and then maybe I'll be tired enough to go to sleep. So I think we'll slip out, pull on, like, a silk robe that has, like, the feather boas on the sleeves and trim, to kind of go walk around, do a check.
Really important question.
Yeah.
Do you have any mirrors in your bedroom?
Yeah, of course. Nadette loves to look at herself. There's, like, 3 minimum.
Okay, so on your way out of the bedroom in this like beautiful feathered robe, you kind of like do the kind of classic like, you know, checking yourself out in the mirror, and you kind of turn your head. You know when you're kind of out in the woods and you shine a torchlight into the dark and animals' eyes reflect. Your eyes kind of turn white and circular as they kind of blink back at you in the mirror.
Blink really hard for a second. Like, check that I don't have, like, contacts in that I forgot to take out. Look behind me, look around, look at my sleeping. Go over and make sure she's fine.
Yeah, she's kind of like starfished in the bed, like snoring softly. You turn back to the mirror. It's weird. The longer you look at your eyes, the less of the rest of your face you can see. Until you're not quite sure who's in the mirror. It's shaped like you, it vaguely looks like you, but it's like the longer you look, the harder it is to see.
I'm gonna reach out and, like, try and, like, tap my own forehead in the mirror.
The reflection reaches up as well, and kind of like taps as well at the same time as you. But when you drop your hand, their hand stays up.
That's what I fucking thought. Right. You know, it's really weird to watch in someone's bedroom when they don't know you're watching. Creepy.
The hand presses up against the other side of the glass, and you see the mirror bulge just slightly.
Right? Here's the thing. If you want a fight right now, keep doing exactly what you're doing, because I'm about to yell so loud, everyone is gonna come running, and you're gonna get your ass beat. So maybe you take a couple minutes, take a breather, and then we'll circle back and deal with you in the morning, okay?
Halfway through this lecture, the face presses up, and suddenly it stretches in this open maw as a face stretches out in this at you.
I'm gonna punch it, I guess. Just knee-jerk reaction. Just like, what the fuck?
You take 4 points of damage as the mirror shatters and your hand comes away bloody. And Sam, what the fuck?
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
What are you doing?
There was like a ghost in the mirror. It was really weird. I didn't like it.
What?
I'm gonna run over to another mirror, like pick like the hand mirror off my bedside table. Is there any?
Yeah.
Look at myself.
Just your face.
Great.
Sam kind of like stumbles out of bed. Are you okay? Your hand, you're bleeding. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, right? Super weird. So,
Yeah,
Rose,
super weird.
yeah, Rose sent a message and was like, "Are you invisible and in my house right now?" Which I haven't been invisible and in the house in like 2 months. So no, it's been a while. And then I was like, that's weird. I'm gonna go do a little lap because I have a lot of energy right now, and you know, just to make sure everything's good. And so I was gonna go out, and I stopped and looked in the mirror because, obviously, and then my face was in there, but like it wasn't my face. And then I poked it, and it had its hand up, and I didn't have my hand up, and it was something else. And then its face fucking ripped open, and there was a different face inside. So I punched it. Does that make sense?
Were you okay? With as much love in the world, were you eating cheese again before you went to bed?
Well, yes, but this wasn't that.
Okay. Oh, all right. Let's go to the bathroom.
And
Just
besides,
check that mirror too and wash your hand, please.
Yeah,
kind of like
besides-
gently leads you by the wrist to the bathroom, runs the faucet, kind of like rinses. I think she kind of like digs out like a little like medicine cabinet and like brings out a bandage. Can you heal this, or are you being gay right now and making me bandage your hand?
Oh, I think I'm feeling faint from the blood.
She kind of like sits you down on the toilet seat, wraps your knuckles up, kind of with this like soft smirk on her face. Like, I believe you, okay? Believe that there was a ghost that you punched, because you can punch ghosts, right? In the mirror. Sure. You did just have like a really like long few days. Like you went through a lot. Are you genuinely? Are you okay?
I'm good. I'm fine. It was not cheese induced, okay? I ate cheddar and that does not have the same effect. Okay? And I'm fine. I don't think it was me freaking out. Usually I'm pretty able to tell what's like going on in my own head that I'm projecting and what's external.
Okay.
Yeah. I think our cottage is haunted.
We just built it. Like
I know.
It's got haunted.
I don't know. Maybe we got a bad brick. I don't know. Can bricks be haunted? And then if you build with the brick, your house is haunted? I don't know how it works, actually.
Neither do I, but we should probably just tear the whole thing down and start
We
again.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a next weekend thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of kisses your knuckles. Are we all better?
Yes, as soon as she, I'm gonna give her a little kiss on the forehead. Yes. I should probably send a message to the main house. Just let them know I saw something spooky. And then they'll probably, be like, whatever, you're overreacting, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll go to bed and it'll be their problem.
Okay, yeah. No, love giving problems to other people.
Yes.
Sounds great.
My favorite. Okay. I'm sorry I woke you up. Do you want some tea?
It's okay. Just wasn't expecting you to break a mirror in the middle of the night, but it's fine.
I wasn't expecting a face to rip out of another face in the mirror, so...
Right. Yeah. That's... You are not overreacting at all.
Thank you, I know. I hardly ever do.
Yeah, okay, babe.
Yeah.
You send that message, I'll make the tea.
Okay. Just send a message on the holo transmitter, it definitely a voice message that is a 10-minute long clip. It's right, so I woke up and just relaying the events, but there's a lot of dun dun duns and it's very over the top. Yeah. And then I'll send it to the family group chat.
Ruby, you're probably the only person who gets this is the person currently taking watch.
Yeah, I think that listens to this, fast forwarding at a couple of parts, just listening on 2 times speed, just and we'll just initially do a thumbs up react, and then we'll say ditto, weird nest and door slamming. That's it. Actually, that's the end of that thought.
Text back. A door slammed on a nest? Nest had a door that slammed. Separate incidents? Question mark?
Unrelated. Yeah.
Okay.
If I see these 2 messages come through, I will also balancing my child in one hand and my phone in the other. I will type out a semi-coherent message that's weird things happening here. Also, Kitty staring at the corner of the room, super cold, saw Nadette in the mirror, question mark. Wasn't Nadette though. No clue what that's about, but I'm staying up. And I'll heart react everyone's messages and then I'll close my phone.
And kind of call out, good news, not just us, everyone's haunted. Probably not good news. Yeah.
Okay, well...
I don't know, I guess we'll have to snuggle super close for safety.
Exactly, because, lesbians never get haunted, especially if they're
Never.
naked.
Yeah, it's true. That's a true
They
fact.
hate homophobic
Yes.
as fuck.
They hate boobs a lot.
They do. I don't. Okay.
Girl. Yeah, get back in bed with my girlfriend. We're gonna drink our tea. And then who knows what will happen? Anything could happen.
Anything. I'll leave them there. I want to go back over to the main estate. Reva, what thoughts keep you up at night?
I think the thought that kind of is keeping Reva up at night, and please stop me or correct me if I've gotten any of these details wrong, but what I remember is there was what feels like an eternity ago, and actually what feels like an eternity ago, is we did some research on our planet, or there was a picture book, some type of storybook, something about, that sort of like outlined like a bunch of crows coming to this planet and the creation of that golden egg. Like, I think what's keeping Reva up is that sort of conspiracy board sort of like formulating in her mind of like, where does this all fit in? What is happening?
Yeah, you recall this illusory book that appeared in the library one night that told the tale, as authored by Wallow, of a mining planet that had this huge accident happen to it, and then a family of birds move in, and this circular shape of the planet slowly morphed into the egg that you recognize down below. And you remember the book kind of like glimmering out in your hand and turning into just a regular kind of encyclopedia. But that nagging thought has pestered both of you ever since. Of, you don't remember any mention of mining or accident in Dorithium's history. You don't know a lot about Dorithium's history other than the industrial purposes it was kind of like known for a couple hundred years ago. But before that, who knows?
I think also in the midst of all of this sort of like, with these more recent memories of like the encyclopedia and the illusion and knowing what we know of the planet, I think interspersed in those thoughts are, it's like that thing when you try to remember things that are farther and further and farther away from the past, where certain details get squiggly and you can't remember if you've added them or if they're real. And I think Reva, like, in these thoughts, is also trying to pull back sort of memories of her mother, of her father, and trying to pick out like what, and sort of like questioning what she remembers as truth or fact, and trying to do that thing of sort of like, was that really there? Like, what do I really remember? And I think that's like that sort of like, I don't know what to call it, but that sort of like throbbing, sort of pulsing, sort of anxiety, sort of like thing that is combined with the feeling of just like not as quick as I used to. Like before, I feel like I could have held every single one of these thoughts or every single one of those points and that string in my head, but right now it feels like something is tangled. I think that's the feeling.
Where is Reva in the house as she's kind of stuck in this rumination spiral?
I think she's in bed now, sort of like with her back like against like the headboard, like sort of sitting up, but not necessarily cute and snuggly up and bundled up. No, she is sort of like sitting, almost in the same posture that she would have been if she was sitting like in her office chair.
Would you make me a perception check?
I do this with disadvantage
Sure.
because right now she's not paying attention to what's happening. Honor this. That's a nat 1.
I don't think you hear anything, but your bedroom gets just a little bit colder. And I think you, a tiefling, are particularly sensitive to changes in temperature around you. You do not skimp on the heating in this house. It is old as fuck, but you have central heating in these fucking floors because Dorithium is cold enough as it is, and you've been subjected to enough cold in your life. So you do notice when the temperature drops just a couple of degrees.
I think with the temperature dropping just a couple of degrees, can I do a quick ask, like, Rodella, like, are you asleep?
I think Rodella immediately reaches back and grabs your hand. Of course I'm not. I think she was lying down, kind of facing away from you, tucked up, trying to just grab like an ounce of sleep, but just sitting there in anxiety and just completely unable to. So as soon as you say something, she's there.
Okay. I think I touch your, like, I'm assuming that this is where I'm at right now. I'm assuming I'm on the left side of the bed, you're on the right side of the bed. I like reach out with my right hand and touch your right shoulder. And I think every single one of those, like that web of thoughts, like shelved, and it's like alert right now. I would want to do a like survey of the room. What's making this cold? Is the window open?
Sure. Yeah, make another perception check for me.
Why is it cold?
That's going to be a 26.
The room is just as you expect it to be. The window is down. There's no draft. You sit in this big 4-poster bed with these like deep velvet kind of like drapes. None of them kind of like sway in any kind of draft. But with a 26, you kind of like glance towards the door. And at the bottom where kind of light from the hallway shines through, you see a shadow kind of move past the door. It looks like footsteps just walking past in the hallway.
I think Riva, after seeing that sort of like light, like footsteps passing by the doorway, I think she like as quickly as she can sort of like get up out of bed without making any type of noise. Just opens the doorknob without looking back at Rodella.
Rodella's watching, but is really familiar with when you are trying to do something and just stays very still, but is on high alert and is watching.
And I would like to be as stealthy as possible while doing this. I want to like attempt to open the door and find what just ran past.
Make a stealth check.
Let's go. That is going to be only a 13. Oh, wait, let me double check my character sheet. I think that is a 13.
Can you make it with advantage because Riddell is also being super, super quiet?
No.
Damn.
It's your stealth, dude.
Yeah. No.
Do you not have that thing where you can't roll below a 10?
I do have that, but
Not on stealth.
yeah, that's not how I built Reva. She's really intimidating.
Yeah. You want people to know when you're...
Click, click, click.
Yeah.
Do you open the door? Do you poke your head
Yes.
around, or do you move into the hallway?
I think she's like pulling. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out like. I can't. I'm thinking too hard here. I'm like door orientation. Does it open in or does it push out? Like what is most secure? Like as a paranoid like woman, I think it would be. Yeah, I think she like pushes the door out and sort of like sidles up against the frame and tries to like take a look.
You look down this hallway, up, down, and it's empty. But on your second pass, you see the light at the very end of the hallway is flickering.
I look back at Rodella. Like
Ridella's face is very much like, what do you want me to do?
I think what I want to like sort of convey, and I had a weird time during hiatus and watched all of like Band of Brothers and a bunch of like World War II like docu-series. I had a weird moment. Anyway, I think I do this sort of like hand motion, like military hand motion type thing.
Yeah.
Like, all right, cover me,
Yeah.
go that way.
Yeah.
And I think
Ridella's up.
And I think Reva like stalks towards that flickering light.
Reva, you stalk towards this flickering light. Rodella, you get up out of bed and you reach for the door, and the door. Reva, you look behind you. The door's closed behind you.
I mean, Ridella's like tearing at this door, trying to get it open.
You cannot.
Reva trusts that Rodella is going to be able to get out. She continues following towards the light.
Ridella's freaking out.
Reva, as you walk towards this flickering light, you get closer and closer, and the closer you get, the more it flickers until it's like barely lit at all, kind of plunging you into this very dim light where, you know, the ornate sconces and the chandeliers you have are casting these like weird spidery shadows all over the wall, all along the floor. And as you make it the last couple of steps, you stumble hard as you trip over something on the ground. You almost fall to your knees. And you look behind you, and there is a body on the ground, and it's Nadette's.
Reva screams.
Jess, where am I? Jess, where am I?
Ridella's like crawling out the window.
Ruby, you go for your door handle, and it is locked also. Rodella, Nadette's body is face down, and there is just this...
Wait, Reva.
I'm so sorry. Reva, Nadette's body is face down on the carpet, and there is this like pool of black blood spreading out, soaking into the fibers.
Quick question. I've presumably seen all of our family members bleed. Is this a natural blood color of blood from Nadette?
It's looks black because of the darkness of the light.
Okay.
I don't know if you can tell.
Also, from a sensory standpoint, what do I smell in this moment?
You smell rotten egg and sulfur and death. As the light continues to flicker behind you and shadows continue to spider out along the walls, make one last perception check for me.
Okay. That's gonna be a 29.
Nadette wears her hair in 2 braids, and this body has 1 braid.
I think Riva catches this. And I think grabs probably just I'm thinking of like what's in this hallway, probably like a framed family photo or something like that, or something with a frame, and just hurls it at the flickering light to try to like break it.
Just roll me a d20. And add your add the modifier for like if you to throw one of your knives, because
Okay. It rolled so poorly just on the flat d20, it was a 2. With my dex modifier, it's a 5.
okay, I think it goes wide and it kind of like slams into this lamp and the the lampshade. The lampshade. There you go.
Yeah.
The lampshade kind of like it's knocked skew-if, but it continues to flicker.
I'm in this sort of like motion of after throwing this frame and skewing the lamp. I'm gonna grab the singular braid. I'm gonna grab the braid, and I'm going to unceremoniously yank that, just to like see the face on the other side.
You see your baby sister, and where her eyes should be yellow, they are grey, as the hearth inside her has gone out. And you are brought back to the moment you found her body, with this stain over her heart, and her eyes dead, and the ghost of this small little smile on her face.
Within Riva, there is just an explosion, sort of an eruption of old, festering emotion that I think is as tumultuous, roiling, and I think just fetid as the smell that is in this air. And I think in this moment, like, Riva wallows it all down and gently releases the braid and puts the face back on the ground and very calmly walks towards the flickering light, picks up the lamp, and then just like smashes it.
You smash the lamp, and you are plunged into darkness. The lights stop flickering. Everything is still for a moment. And then you feel lips against your ear. As your sister says, "She is coming." And the lights go back on. And there's no blood on the floor. There's no stain on the carpet. And Riddell and Ruby, I assume you're still tearing at these doors. Suddenly, you stumble forward into the hallway.
What happened? What happened? Riddell is like running down the hall to you and is like checking you over and just like frantically looking around. What happened?
I think what you see is sort of like Riva, sort of like stock still, with her eyes closed, and sort of the shattered remnants of like a lamp. She's probably holding like the very like base of it. And I think I look into Fredella's eyes, and I think what you see in Riva's eyes is the Riva is war Riva. Not joyous sort of let's go stab a bitch Riva, or hey, let's go do hijinks, or hey, let's be pirates again, or hey, we are young and we've fallen in love, or hey, we are old and having breakfast together, or peeling each other oranges, or sharing poetry Riva. You see Riva that is out for blood.
I think Redella's breath like catches a little bit. And I think for a second she has to kind of like look away. And she looks around for Ruby.
Yeah, I mean, Ruby is, I think, standing on the other side of her door, bow in hand, just desperately looking up and down this hallway, but seeing nothing.
All right. I don't think we're gonna get any sleep tonight.
No.
Perhaps we should get everyone together.
Yeah. And, I don't know if you saw the family group chat. We're not the only ones.
Too long, didn't read. Just
Yeah. I'm like, when does my mom ever check the family group chat? It's just like, the
Yeah,
hard ones,
exactly.
like, yeah.
They've got that shit on mute.
Yeah. Too many notifications.
I think Verdella just kind of okay, and I think she just messages the group chat and just says, "Everyone, come to the main house."
I think Rose answers it and just says like, "My children are asleep. Can come here?" Question mark. Don't really want to leave them right now.
Verdella, you see typing for a long time. And it's just like excessively long time, and then you just say, here, see, coming.
And there's a period in there too, right?
And a
coming
period.
So real.
Um,
And I will wake Tenon up before they get there, so he doesn't wake up to panic.
Brief pause. Do we want to take a brief break, or like a pee break, and or a like snacky breaky?
No worries. I was just about to call for a break.
Okay.
So I think we will start our break there. We'll see you back here in 15 minutes. Don't get haunted.
Too late.
welcome back. Hope you got a snack. Hope you got a drink. Hope you changed your underwear. Let's get back into it. We revisit the family after the night has passed. Everyone has congregated in Chrysali's cottage belonging to Rose and Tennant, and everyone's currently sat round the breakfast table. Tennant kind of at the head, hair tightly braided on one side, just blooming, the rest of their hair kind of loose waves, and just looking kind of blearily at all of you, and kind of pointedly ignoring the hellhound, whose like head is just like in his lap, and its tail is just like on the floor, and he just doesn't even want to acknowledge its existence. So it's just kind of like looking at all you, going, "Okay, yeah. So, what did I sleep through exactly?"
Well, let's get through one by one. And I think I gesture over to, I guess maybe I would, sorry, I'm like taking a moment just to be like, who would I go first? I think I would probably actually direct Rose to share first.
Yeah, I think Rose, who I like to imagine is on the other side of Kitty and is like scratching like Kitty's butt just to sort of, placate the dog who was the only one who picked something up first. I think Rose will kind of clear her throat a little. Right, well, I was up and Kitty started growling at something. So I went in and she was staring at something we're probably in our living room, so I will just point at the corner. It was sort of growling in that corner. I didn't sense any magic or anything, but when I kind of stepped closer, it got really cold. And then it was sort of gone, and I turned around and pointed at the mirror. That mirror, I saw like a flash of someone that it looked like Nadette, weirdly. And then, and the light was flickering as well. And then it was seemingly just kind of gone. Kitty seemed fine. I sent Nadette a message, and it was not Nadette, but fairly tame, just very strange. But whatever it is, it seems like Kitty can pick up on it, which is good. So, and not magical, I guess.
The thumps of the tail go, and like they can like tell the approval, but they're still like looking at Tennant, like, begging them to acknowledge their existence. And Tennant's just like, okay, and you. Please, everybody, you said the eggs, fucking eggs. What off?
Goes into her bag and just drops the nest on the table.
Oh Jesus, that fucking stinks, man! What are you doing?
It's
I haven't
evidence.
eaten breakfast yet.
Well, I hope you weren't going for a scramble. It's evidence, and I found this outside. Know where it could have come from. Commotion from the birds. I looked outside, there were no birds, and I found 3 of these, and kind of flicks the gold coin over to Tennant.
Kind of like they roll in like perfect unison across the table, and Tennant just kind of like sticks his hand out, and they kind of like jump into like kind of fall into his hand, and he like scrapes them across the table and looks at them. Kind of like flips one between his fingers in this practice motion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. More weird gold shit.
Yep. You've got to tell him he's a good boy or he's not going to stop.
Who? Mom? Looks at Reva. The dog.
I think I look over a gesture to like Nadette to share next.
I think Rodella kind of glances over and goes, Nadette left a 10-minute long voice note if you'd like to hear that part.
No.
I can sum it up.
Yep.
It's a 12-minute long talk of how everything went down now.
Forgive me.
But yeah, it's like, right, so I was in bed, Rose sent a message and was like, are you in my house? And I wasn't, so I said no, and then I was like, maybe I should go check things out. So I went, and then there was something in my mirror, and it looked like me, but it wasn't me, and then it, like, tried to, like, push through the mirror, and so I was like, what the fuck, and I, started to talk to it, and then, like, its face opened up, and there was another face inside, and I punched it, and then I woke up Sam, because I punched the mirror, and it shattered, but nothing else happened. I don't think there were any flickering lights. And after that, if there was anything in the mirrors, I did not see. So, yes.
And whatever Fey presence I sensed yesterday was gone last night when I checked again.
Great.
And I mean, it's not that hard to get out of the range, but still, something that big should have left a trace.
Okay. Anything else?
Ruby's eyes just dart over to Reva.
So do Rodella's.
She's, other than that, is like stone still.
So the mental image I had was sort of like Kirby sucking in air, but it sort of like feels like that as sort of like Reva is like at the other end of this table, just like taking in a deep breath. And then goes on. Last night, after Ruby presented this evidence to me in my office, your mother and I went to bed. Later that evening, we noticed the air dropping by several degrees. Both of us were on alert, and we saw a set of footsteps go past our door. I followed. However, something slammed the door shut, left your mother behind to investigate. There was a flickering lantern, and I saw a body on the ground. I inspected the body. I thought it was your sister, but it was mine.
You see, kind of like visibly like swallows.
Reva hasn't said this to everyone yet, right? Is this the first time we're all hearing this?
I would have assumed I would have told you last night.
Okay.
Probably not. Probably not, Ruby.
That's fair.
Ooh, that feels bad. That feels right. That feels...
I think Rodella reaches under the table and grips your hand.
I think you got a soft squeeze back. Not like a hard squeeze, but like a
Okay, so what is this? Davies fucking with our heads to get like what? We still can't fucking find her. Like,
Got a couple ideas about that. If anybody wants to go spelunking
what the fuck is spelunking?
Cave diving.
Yeah.
And actually, people who do cave dive hate the word. Fun fact. They think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I can
But
see
anyway.
why. It's ridiculous. Okay.
I can also try to scry on her today. Try and see what she's up to.
Rose, your holo transmitter starts to buzz in your pocket.
I'll like very casually. I'll stop petting the dog and I'll very casually kind of peek at it.
It's luck.
I will. I think I'll look at it and I'll look back up and I'll kind of room, and then I'll just. I'm so sorry. Would you excuse me for just a minute? Do you need me here right now? I'm gonna take your silence as a no.
Reva looks very scary at you in a sort of like a very serious face, but then like sort of like nods to like go take it.
I think I will kind of like pull out the phone and I will just very quickly like flash it to Tenet so that they kind of know what I'm doing, and then just like squeeze your hand and I'll go into the bedroom and I'll answer.
Hi, you said to phone you
Hiya.
in the morning. Hi.
I did. Hi. How are you? You right?
I'm fine.
Good.
That was.
Good.
Are you alright?
Yeah, everything's fine. And
Oh no.
It's great. It's fine. Everyone is fine. I just I mean, I hate to use our weekly phone call for business and not just sort of chatting, but do you ever?
Well, our weekly phone call is on Thursday. That's why I was so worried, because it's Monday.
Right. I hope you don't mind adding another to the schedule. This is sort
No,
of
I look. No. It's just.
Mhm.
You're very punctual, Rose. Sorry. It's lovely to hear from. Are you all right? I've asked that already.
Yeah. No, this just it's fine. Some things are happening here. Again, shocker. That doesn't happen ever. Well, I'm just gonna come out with it. It seems like it might be Fae related, and so I sort of just wanted to call and throw a bunch of things at the proverbial wall and see if any of it sounds familiar to you. Since I've sort of been removed for a while.
Things are happening,
Mm-hmm.
and it might be Fae related.
It's. I think Ruby could tell it was Fae. I'm just sort of
Okay.
in denial. So,
Well, pixie infestations are no joke. Like, if you need, I know someone very talented person really sorted out mine and Ailey's problem, lickety split.
That's good to know. I think it's probably a bit larger than a pixie infestation. It's sort of a, someone pretending to be another person, and all of us seeing flashes of someone who's dead, and mirrors and cold spots, and only our hellhound. We have a hellhound now, by the way. I don't know if I told you that. Only the hellhound.
Oh!
On it, and
Lovely.
yeah, yes.
Okay.
Also, the other day when we were on the ship, I think I told you we left the planet, but I don't really remember. It feels like it was a long time ago. Sort of a lot of the parts of the ship were like different, like the doors had moved over and some of the planks were coming up, and in a very sort of odd, non-magical but not normal.
You can hear kind of Lark shuffling. You can hear like the creak of like the familiar creak of the floors of your home as Lark kind of like starts moving, and you kind of hear like the rustle of fabric against the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear like the flick of like paper and pages as Lark starts clearly thumbing through some sort of well, Faye pretending to be someone else. Changelings are technically Fae, so maybe you have a changeling among you. But very nice people. It might not be bad, unless it sounds bad.
Right.
Anything can be used for bad.
Sure.
But
yeah, there's also the really. I mean, I don't know how Fae this is because of the whole, thing. But I mean, there's also still the unresolved bit from like a year and a half ago of pretty much the entire family having weird communal the bird, and also the dreams. The dreams that everyone sort of had, which I know is not very Everglen generally,
I don't know much
magic.
about dreams, to be honest.
Right.
Unfortunately.
It seems like whatever this is like really big, really powerful magic, and Ruby picked up on the Fae, and I'm sort of stumped. And you're the most Fae person I know as future king of the Fae. So I thought I'd just sort of give you a ring and see what happens.
Right, okay, so Fae. Well, yes, there's me, there's Eladrin, there's...
Yeah, you're not doing this, right? Just to check it.
No.
Okay.
That sounded... I'm not.
No, I know. I was kidding.
Okay, you've got your dryads, your naiads, your oriads, your any one of those. Are you sure it's not a pixie infestation? Or sprites? Sprites are annoying little buggers sometimes as well.
I'm fairly I think with the whole sort of having an odd amount of information about the Crowcolts' past, and therefore mimicking people who should be dead in the past, I think it's probably something a little bit larger than a pixie or sprite infestation.
Right, yes. So they know a lot about you. You don't have any other connection to Fae other than you.
I mean, not that I know of. Not that I know, but also, I don't really know all that much about Crowcolt history, but I think it probably would have come up by now if, Granddaddy Wayland was in bed with an archfey or something. So.
Oh. From what I heard, he was in bed with quite a few people.
It was, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do some research, and I'll send you across some options.
Thank you. I just feel like it's not that, right? Like, is normal.
It's
normal
not
for Dad.
what?
Nothing's out of the ordinary with that. Just all of it. I just,
You You think Father's in your
Well,
house pretending to be
no.
other people?
No, but you know,
I assure you, he's
not very fond.
making my life perfectly miserable here. It's quite his full-time job, so
I meant more like, you know, he could send someone. Does he seem like normal for him, which is distinctly abnormal, I'm aware, but
What?
I feel like I should just check in.
Sure.
It's probably not. I know it's probably not. I'm just paranoid, so...
Right, no, if I can be... Don't take this the wrong way. He does tend to just pretend that you don't exist. So it would be quite a change of pace for him to put so much effort into...
Sure, yeah.
Um...
Okay, good. I'll scratch that one off the list then.
Yes, I think we can safely say that. Okay. But I can do some, what do you call it, reconnaissance on him.
Right.
Yes, yes.
So, you know,
just check.
careful. You know how he is.
Of course, yeah. No.
And I wouldn't want to give him an excuse to make your life any more miserable, because I rather like it when your life is not miserable. So.
That's very kind of you. I'll do my best.
Thank you. If you come up with anything, just let me know. Sorry to burden your morning with this.
No. I love speaking to you. I wish it was Happy New Year. I'm sorry you're really going through.
Well, come our weekly call. I will hopefully be distinctly more upbeat and normal.
Okay. Well, yes. You have 4 days until Thursday to turn it around.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Fine.
I can work with 4 days.
Excellent. Also, update on the reindeer doodah. Excellent.
Really?
Peony's never better. Crazy. I know.
Good to know.
So, yes.
I might have a very awkward conversation with Ruby then.
All right. If you need any information on that as well, I'll send both. I'll send it all across. I'll
great.
send it, the Fae and the shit. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Love you very much.
Love
Please
you.
stay safe.
I will do my best.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Hang up.
Meanwhile, family. There is a singular knock at the front door. Not like a. You all have your own different ways of knocking. It specifically sounds as if something has pulled on the kind of ornate door knocker on the door and it's rammed against the door. And that's it.
Immediately up.
Yeah.
Kitty is torn between,
like everyone's like running for the door at the same time.
Kitty the Hellhound is torn between like continuing to beg for Tennant's attention and like going woof, 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 and like kind of looking between the door and Tennant's like, okay, well, it's my fucking house, I will get it, and kind of like shoves the dog off and ugh.
Too late.
As Tennant like gets up, I think I want to make eye contact with Ruby to see like I'm trying to figure out like if there's any way to see anywhere, not from the door, like another window or like upstairs or something like that. And I think Riva does the same. I think for I think this might be. I don't know. I honestly don't remember from the sessions that we've done this from. But I think Riva actually makes eye contact with Nadette as well, like both daughters, to be like up and sideways, you know,
Yeah.
to be like, hey, let's triangulate.
Yeah, I think that Ruby immediately takes to the stairs and will find an upstairs window that like looks out to the front.
Nadette is eating dry cereal from a bag and is gonna go and drop it and like go look out the other window.
Both of you make perception checks for me. Meanwhile, Tennant and Riddell, you kind of get to the front door at the same time. Tennant kind of like looks at you a little bit challengingly, like, you gotta open my front door for me, but kind of says nothing and waits for you to do something.
I mean, Bradella was just singular-mindedly just going for it. So I don't think she's even paying attention at this point. I think I don't think she goes to open the door. Does this door have a peephole? Because I'd imagine this door would probably have a peephole.
James, what do you think?
I think they're paranoid enough.
I was like, these guys are paranoid.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so I think she presses her face up to it to see.
Don't see anything.
Oh, great. Fabulous.
Dan kind of looks at you expectantly.
Rodella like holds out a hand. And then I think she looks over at Nadat.
That's looking very obviously out the window. Not trying to hide.
Does Nadat see anything?
I got a 16 on my perception.
I got a dirty 20, and I would also love to pick my primeval awareness again. It's a new day, new spell slots.
Read out to me what the primeval awareness is again.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my god, I just... you can sense whether any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiend, or undead are present within 6 miles of you. Does not reveal their location or number, merely their presence.
Yeah, big old fucking dragon. No, I'm kidding.
Shit! I knew it!
No,
I
you
was
don't,
so excited.
you don't sense anything. I'll let you know what
Okay.
you do see in a moment. Rodella, you open the door.
I think if I get any indication from Nadat or
Nadat,
whatever.
you don't see anything.
You're on mute, love.
I'm holding a thumbs up around the corner.
Okay.
Okay, so Rodella's gonna open the door.
You open the door. There is no one outside. But you look down at your feet, and there is a piece of paper on the doorstep.
Alright. I mean, I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah, you pick it up, and it's at first glance looks like a newspaper, like a newspaper you might like throw on someone's doorstep, but it's just one page. It's almost like more of a newsletter. And at the top, it says Dorithium Daily, which is not a newspaper that Dorithium has, because, as you know, we have an abandoned press office on this planet, but no active press office and no active newspaper around.
Also,
But it
we just
says-
control all the news.
Exactly. It says Dorithium Daily, and the headline reads, Tragic Fire Claims Life of Harzippa Widow. Tenant kind of is peering over your shoulder.
I think. I think Rodella takes one look at this, feels Tenant kind of like peering over her shoulder, and snatches the paper away.
What? Hold on. I was reading that. What fire? What?
She turns around without even like looking at Tenant or like glancing at him, and she walks over.
What?
to
It's
Reba.
my fucking house! It's my newspaper! Ruby, with your roll, you see just a tiny speck in the distance. A red bird flying away.
Yep, alright. So Rodella's opened the door. I am opening the window. I am down. Be right back. And transforming into a crow and chasing it. Fuck it, we ball. I'm going.
Yes.
Take off.
Okay, we'll check back in with you in a moment.
Oh god.
Mara, I saw you just type he's a slow reader in the chat. Leave the boy alone! He needs a minute.
It's
I
a neutral statement. There's nothing wrong with being a slow reader, okay?
No, nothing at all. You can read though. Rodella, what are you doing?
Ooh, I think Rodella, walks right over to Reva and sets the paper down in front of her.
I think Reva quickly scans the headline. Is there an article or anything else like included, or is it just the headline plus like?
There's an article.
Okay.
Do you read it?
Yeah, I'm gonna read the article.
Okay. Would you like to read it if I send it to you, or would you like me to read it?
I would love to read it aloud.
Do I see my sister turn into a bird and fly away?
She's not subtle about it at all.
You do.
Okay,
Yeah.
just for later.
I think Rodella is spinning the ring on her finger. With a little symbol on it.
Tragedy struck last week as Lady Rodella Harzipper was found deceased after a fire broke out at the Harzipper estate. The fire, which broke out shortly after midnight, destroyed the main residence of the estate, with minimal damage caused to the surrounding 200 acres. Lady Harzipper, 34, was widowed 6 months ago following the death of her husband, Lord Henry Harzipper. Rumors surrounding his death state Lord Harzipper was possibly murdered by pirates during a routine sea voyage. The couple were married for 10 years. Investigations are ongoing to determine the cause of the fire. Whilst initial suspicions point to an accidental origin, no conclusions have been drawn. A small memorial service will be held at the local chapel, with details to be announced. For now, the Harzipper estate will remain under the care of extended family members until further arrangements are made. The local community mourns the loss of Lady Harzipper, marking the end of an era for the Harzipper lineage.
Reva, do you read this aloud or do you read it in your head?
Reva reads this in her head.
Mm-hmm. Rodella, are you reading this as well, this article?
Yeah, no, I think she scans it and takes it in very quickly and then just keeps staring at Reva.
I think Tennant kind of like stumbles into the kitchen after you, still kind of going, "What the fuck?" and kind of like sees the two of your faces and kind of like stops himself and goes, "Oh." Rose, it's at this point that you rejoin the room.
I think that Rose, completely oblivious to everything that's just happened, kind of walks in and goes, "Okay, well, good news. Locke is going to do some Why do you all look like that? Where's Ruby?"
And I think
She flew away!
Okay.
As-
The faces.
as all of this is happening, like, there's just a little bubble between, like, Reva and Rodella. And I think the only thing Reva is paying attention to, and the only thing that she's looking to, is now just looking into Rodella's eyes.
I think Rodella looks a little like you know how well Rodella keeps her kind of like outer countenance together in most circumstances, and I think she is, gripping the chair behind you. Her hands, like her knuckles, are white, and she is trembling as she stares down at you. And her gaze is very focused on you, not on the paper. But I think she says through very, like, tight lips, "If someone is printing this, if someone is aware, we should find out who that is and how far this information has gone."
Printing wall.
I agree. And I'm gonna fold the paper and holding Rodella's sort of like shaking, hard, sort of like squeezed knuckles. I'm gonna like put my hands on her fist, her balled up fist, and hold up the paper for her to take, very pointedly not paying attention to Tennant.
I think Rodella takes it and kind of puts it into her pocket. And then turns to Tennant and Nadette. Somebody has printed something very personal about me. And I think she's struggling for a minute. This is information that I think maybe the kids have picked up on bits and pieces through the years. Just being around Rodella, knowing her, hearing like tiny, tiny little things here and there. But Rodella does not talk about it. This is not something that Rodella has spoken to the children about. And this is I always talk about Rodella's life has been in chapters, and that is a chapter that has been closed and locked. And having it on full display, written down on a piece of paper, has shaken her to her core. And having that kind of violation of privacy. And I think she's struggling because she does not want to be forced right now to talk about something with the kids, but she knows that they have been trying to be open with each other. And they have been trying to kind of change this dynamic. And so I think for a minute she just kind of sits in silence, and then takes a deep breath and says, I would like to speak to all of you about these personal things. I would prefer it not come from a piece of paper.
I think in this moment you see Tennant exchange a glance with Rose, and when his eyes return to you, they're filled with this like solemn understanding of what that kind of violation is like, and what that exposure of your privacy and your personal life is like. And he just kind of nods.
Thank you.
Rodella, sweetie, hold on. And I think there's a little snap. And I look back over to Nadette. Where's Ruby?
He flew away.
Such a good question.
I'd love to know personally.
Ruby, make an initiative roll for me. This is not a combat situation. I just want to see how fast you are. I'm gonna race him. I'm gonna fucking race him. Okay.
That is a 15.
15 total. You fly as fast as your little crow wings can take you. And it's almost like Dorithium is urging you on as you feel wind pick up and carry you forward. And that speck of red grows closer and closer and closer. And you can see clearly now it's a parrot. It's a parrot that you haven't seen in maybe a year, more than that.
Mm.
The last time you saw this parrot was in the tunnels underneath your house when you were fighting that monstrous bird known as Wallow. And just as you are gaining on him, the parrot stops and almost kind of like does a little bit of a spinning kind of like motion in the air and looks at you and disappears into black shadow.
Fuck. You watch Top Gun. Shit. Damn it. Okay. All right. God fucking damn it. Okay. I don't think I have any good spells. Is there any chance that I think I would have tried to do this as soon as I could get in range of it, which is like, can I even cast a spell if I'm polymorphed? This is such a good question. Guys, know your abilities, actually. Know what you can do.
I don't know if you can, but
I don't know if you can either. Let me, I'm
if it's got semantic components, if it's got stuff like that and you're a crow, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's so valid. Let me take a look here. I'm trying to see if I can get a hunter's mark on it. It's a verbal component. I don't think I can do that. Okay. That's valid. All right. Shit.
Who says the verbal component can't be a caca?
The verbal component could be like, you know, could be. No,
I love you so bad. No.
This is such a special moment. It's the first time you're a DM telling me no. Thank you. Okay, cool. Then I will try to silently, cursing as a fucking crow, will, I think, just like make note of the area that I'm in right now, make note of the direction that it was heading in, specifically to try to be able to triangulate this for later. Do like a quick kind of lap of the area, see if there's anything that I can see on a cursory glance, but if there's nothing, I'll go back to the house.
Just make me like a flat nature check.
Okay. That's a 17.
So, in terms of where you are now, you are above the kind of like main town area of Durham.
Oh, I'm over town. Oh, okay.
And the direction in which this bird was flying is, you, at first instinct, it's the direction of Nadette and Rose's antique shop called What's New. But also, in the same vein, next door to that antique shop is this old printing press that has not been used since you arrived on the planet. It's actually been used, I think, kind of overtaken by Rodella at some point as kind of like a place to store all of her excess books, and also Reva's excess books, and it's kind of become like a little bit of a community
storage locker.
Take a book, leave a book, kind of. Yeah, you've never really had a good poke around in there before. It's never really interested you. And that is the direction that the parrot was flying.
Okay, cool. Just make a note of all that, lock it in the vault, and then head back to the house. And I think, you guys hear, like, boots hitting the deck as she, like, transforms back at, like, on the descent, and her momentum kind of carries her, and then just kind of pushes in the door. Has anybody ever been inside the old print shop recently?
The what?
The print shop. Down by the, where mom keep their shit.
No.
We have one of those?
I mean, we did. Don't know what's in there now.
Tenant, it's where we keep books. Do you know what those are?
Oh, very fucking funny. A print shop, like, where you kind of glares at Nadette. Print books?
No, we can print newspapers, idiot.
I don't fucking know. We don't have a newspaper here, do we? Mom gets them, like, flown in from all over the fucking galaxy.
Right, well, I happened to see a little red-feathered friend that quite a long while, flew in that direction, disappeared in a puff of smoke right above it. Why do you all look weird?
We have a new newspaper in town. And I think we should go find out who's been writing.
I'm gonna turn to Sam and be like, you actually have, like, friends who live in town. Can you see if they got a delivery, too? We should know if this is widespread, right? Send him a message and see.
Yeah, sure. Text. Yeah.
Well, I imagine based on everyone's reaction around the funny pages. No sports section.
I think they're kind of looking at Riddell as like, it was like family secrets. We're gonna talk about it later.
Oh,
Later.
Yeah. But
With the later comment, I think Riva looks at Rodella just sort of to make eyes that say, "Are you sure?"
She gives you eyes back of like. I think at this point, like all of her focus is getting to that print shop and finding out what the fuck is going on.
at
Field
this
trip.
moment, you hear a voice call out from the other end of the house.
Mom!
Rose,
Mom, Aaron said I was stupid! No, I didn't!
I'm gonna just I'll be right back. And I think
the drumming
Rosa,
of
like,
little feet is too, like,
oh,
8-year-olds
Jesus.
sprint into the kitchen. I didn't! It's like looking at you in absolute abject panic, Rose, as Elwyn, like, is almost like crying, and Aspen marches straight up to Tanner and goes, she did! She called me stupid!
Aspen!
And Tanner looks down and goes, were you stupid? No!
Aspen!
What?
What do snitches get? That's what I thought.
Ellen goes, what do snitches get?
Don't worry about it, dear. You're fine.
I think Rose is so overwhelmed by the energy in the studio, both positive and negative, that she just like turns to her kids and then just wordlessly turns to Tennant with an expression of, I've run out of words. I'm out of words. Yeah. Well, nobody's stupid. First off, nobody's stupid. Everything's fine. Did you sleep well? Why don't we get breakfast going? I'll do breakfast. And I'll just...
Sam kind of goes, why don't I do breakfast? And then you guys can... Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah. Also, no one got any newspaper. Very excited about the possibility of a newspaper, though. Case kind of looks at Reba, in case that was something, a business avenue, you could put advertisements in it. It's not my place. But, I'm just saying.
Give Sam a kiss on the cheek.
Mwah. Yeah, no, I'm gonna muffins. I'm gonna bake. Come on, kids! Kind of like ushers them into the adjoining kitchen. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the printing press, I guess.
Yes.
I will give Sloan a call to keep an eye on the house.
Cool.
Okay. And I can still try to scry if that's something it really depends on if she's on this plane and what sort of magical powers whoever she actually has.
Yeah.
But I can at least try.
Okay.
And I'd still like to go poking around underground if anyone wants to come. You can't if you're claustrophobic, though.
Haha.
I think it might be best if we stay together right now.
Okay, one thing at a time then.
What's first? Print press or caves?
Rodella is like vibrating.
I
This
think we should.
was dropped on our lap rather urgently, so could be first. That and the bird.
Right.
Hey, it was about time someone else made a front page news. Okay, I'm gonna put some trousers on.
I'm gonna run and see if they just dropped it off here or at the estate or my cottage as well. If they knew we were all here, that's concerning, you know?
Please don't
Yes.
read it.
Rose, how long will it take you to do a scrying spell?
Just 10 minutes, so not long. I can sit and do it now if we want, while we're sort of trying to get everything going.
I think there's something that like tickles the back of my mind a little bit. Is like, do we want to scry on the coins or like anything of the evidence that any of the clues that we've found, just to see their origin?
So for scrying, I can only do a place or a creature, but I can, if we want, do legend lore instead on the coins, and see if anything pops up. I don't think I need a name. I think I can just do it on an object.
On an object?
Technically, I can do both. It would just take 20 minutes total, and also, I would still have bigger magic, but it would deplete it a little bit. But I'm happy. I mean, this feels important, so I'm happy to do both if we'd like.
I think maybe if it's going to be a drain on, I think starting with the
Okay.
might be.
You're
so
cutting
sorry.
out a little.
Fuck! I think I'm American now. I think that starting with the scrying might be a good idea, and then we can go check out the tunnels, see if there's anything else we can learn organically about that before we call on bigger magic.
Okay. I can also, if we want, take a look at the coin magically, just on my own, and see if anything crops up.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I will take one of the coins. I'll do detect magic first. I think we did this when I was underground, but just sort of like to be safe, I'll do a detect magic.
Yeah, no magical aura coming off of this.
Okay. Can I then, and I have no fucking idea what this would be, but like, as somebody who grew up amongst wealth and ancient relics and fine things, can I make like some kind of check to figure out what the deal with this is?
Yeah.
Like, specifically the material of it, and if like it's like newer gold on top of old gold, or just like, can I do a rich
Sure.
person check?
Do a rich person check, Rose.
Do we think that's like a history or like a?
Yeah.
Choose history or arcana. Yeah.
I will pick history then, because that is better. I'm gonna use the 10 d20.
Well, you're
12. I don't think I have anything to help with that. So that's 12 on the rich person check.
I think similar to Reva last night, who has also handled a lot of money in her time, there's something about the way the weight of it settles in your hand that isn't familiar. Something about the texture of it, the temperature of it. It's like the longer you hold something metal in your hand, it kind of like saps some of your body heat. This just stays cool to the touch the whole time. So it's like, it's odd. It's giving you like, if a coin could give you an uncanny valley effect of another coin, that's kind of like what it's giving you. It's not radiating magic that your detect magic can pick up, but you know that it's like, I think you can tell its origin is not natural. It wasn't like,
Okay.
yeah.
No, go ahead.
Sam can do this thing with like baked goods where she can like tell what's in it. Sam has identify. I could ask her if she could fix it. You know, she is it to steal other recipes, but you did not hear from me, and she doesn't steal them, she improves them.
Right, yeah.
I could ask her about it.
Worth a shot. I mean, I'm not getting magic off it, but also there are spells to make things that are magical seem non-magical, so it's also, could be anything. I think it can't hurt. Before I hand it over, can I look, is there any kind of like engraving or language or like symbol of a planet or a place or just like any kind of iconography or language that I recognize?
Ooh, such a good question. Let me think about this. I think what you get is so the coin is double-sided. It's kind of like lightly ridged. I'm thinking of a pound coin here, lightly ridged around the circumference. And on one side is this insignia, this kind of like symbol that you don't recognize. And on the other side is an embossed M.
Okay. And does the insignia, does it look like what I would recognize as like a family crest or a royal crest, or does it look...
Yes.
Okay. Then I think as I kind of hand it over, I'll like flip it in my hands and just... has anyone looked at the symbol on it? I don't recognize it, but it looks like some kind of weird family crest and there's an M on it. Does that mean anything to anyone? I'll hand it over.
Tennant kind of like looks at it. I'm gonna make Tennant roll.
Can I give him an inspiration? D10?
Yeah. Fuck. That was a 1, you stupid idiot!
No!
Oh,
Yeah, he just kind of.
Is it a W, Tenant? W for Wallow.
Oh yeah! Well, it's from fucking Wallow, innit? He's got his initial on it.
But look
No,
at flip it.
darling, it's an M. Flip it. The other.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You see where it's underlined? That means that bit goes on the bottom.
Yeah.
Why?
And the
Why
crest on
make
it-
it?
It's like oriented to sun wall.
Fine. I don't know. It's the same gold as downstairs. Quote it. I don't know where it's coming from though.
Right.
I think in a moment that makes you a little bit fond, Reva, Tennant bites into the coin and kind of inspects it and goes, "Okay. Did you know this thing like regenerates?"
It's like the
Oh.
the egg.
Great.
I'm realizing I hate mysteries. Just tell us what's going on and we can fight it. Fact.
And that's the end of Crow Lane, everybody. Okay, what are we doing first here? Are we
Print shop.
scrying? You said there were so many magic words. What are we doing?
Oh yeah, I can.
Print shop.
I can scry first if we want. I can wait. I can legend lore if we want. I know we're sort of following the coin. Just tell me what to do and I will do it.
I think we take 10 minutes, get ready, extra ammunition, extra gear for everybody. We cast a scry and move towards the print shop.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. We'll take the coin to my girlfriend as well for her to
Okay. So, everyone starts to get ready. Rose, are you kind of like casting scry in this 10 minutes?
I think I'm gonna go into our bedroom now, just so if the kids come out, I don't have to explain, and I'll just kind of like settle down, and I will cast scry. I'm gonna cast it on. I don't think I have to name it. I'm trying to cast it on whoever Ruby Davies really is, because it's not Ruby Davies. If I can.
How does a spell work? Do you need a possession of theirs? Excuse me.
I don't need it. It's just easier if I have
Okay.
one. Let me get the wording on it.
Do I still have the ruby?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one.
Here we go. Scrying. Okay. So if they're not on the same plane, it fails. If they are, they have to make a wisdom saving throw. And they can fail if they want to be observed. But if we are counting the ruby as a possession or garment, then they would have a -4 to that wisdom save.
Okay. What does it look like when Rose starts casting this spell? What is she thinking of?
I think that Rose goes as untrustworthy as mirrors feel right now. I think Rose goes into the room and fetches like a little hand mirror and pours like a little bit of water on the surface and looks into like the ways that the water like reflects in the mirror and the light kind of overhead. And I think as Rose kind of like settles down, like cross-legged on the bed, looking just weary, still in winter, like hair pulled back in a really messy like claw clip moment, I think that Rose's eyes, like, she blinks, and when they open again, they're this sort of, like, swirling, like, purple and gold, almost look like molten gold, as she tries to look into another time and place. Like, the same time, another place.
You anchor yourself in this gem, and having had more of its history revealed to you, it's almost like looking through the pages of a book. You see what Rodella saw the previous day. You see this ruby sitting at the center of a necklace against not crimson skin, but the grey skin of Lawrence Crowcolt. You see it being prized out of its setting and forced into another as it's pushed into the center of this crown that you dismantled just days ago. And you turn the next page of this book to see where its original owner is now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this... And you take 8 points of psychic damage as whatever is on the other end of this pushes you away and kind of like, you feel like almost claws in your mind, wrenching you out of this spell.
Cool, no doubt. I'm just gonna write ow in my notes. That's probably descriptive enough. I think that Rose, like, sitting here is, like, focused, and then, like, scrunches her eyes shut really tight, goes, oh, okay. Alright, and I think some of the water, like, sloshes onto the bed, unfortunately, as a result. Okay.
Stop. What are you doing? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Whoever that is does not want me peeking. Fuck, I have such a headache now. Okay.
Oh, jeez, okay.
Ow. And I think when Rose opens her eyes, just for a second, they're like a little bit bloodshot. And just, wow. That's never happened to me before. And I don't know what that means, because that's not usually a thing people can do.
Lieutenant kind of like stands over you, and he like presses like the heels of his palms into the sockets of your eye, and you kind of, it's almost like having like a warm compress against your face as he kind of like heats his palms to try and like soothe some of the ache. And he goes, okay, can we press pause on the magic until we do some more investigating, please?
I think that Rose like thunks her forehead onto their chest and is just like, I mean, I could, but now I'm mad about it, and so now I don't want to, is the problem.
Oh, great. Please?
Yeah. I mean, I might still try to legend lore on the coin, because that's not sentient, so they shouldn't be able to...
You don't know that.
I'm fairly certain they're not.
I bit it and it came back.
I think Hero will like very gently kind of pull one of his hands off her eyes and look up at him and just, that doesn't mean it's sentient, I don't think.
You don't know, I mean, you probably know better than I do. I don't know magic, alright? So I don't, but it's fucking weird, Rose.
Yeah, that it is odd. Okay. And then I think like processes like past the focus and into like the emotional state and his concern, and we'll just like let out a breath and reach up and like put a hand on his cheek and just, I'm okay. I'm good. Didn't want to start my morning with a headache and a hiss. I think they hissed at me, which is also quite rude. I just like that on the record, because I was very nice to the not Ruby Davies person, and I don't think I deserve to be hissed at and punched in the brain. Whatever that was.
He punched you in the brain?
But I felt like claws, kind of, in my head.
They're fucking dead man, woman, whatever, thing. Okay.
My knight in shining armor, thank you.
At your service.
Yeah, okay, I should go are you okay? I know that was a lot to wake up to. Are you good before I go in there and tell everyone?
Yeah, I love waking up to my entire fucking family under my roof. Great. All supposedly being haunted, which is ridiculous because ghosts don't exist, so whatever.
So are you calling me a liar? Excuse me, sorry.
No, I'm not saying. No, I believe you.
Right, but everyone else
But
I'm right.
I just think it was probably, of a magical nature instead of a supernatural.
Well, I suppose you would be able to tell the difference where I couldn't on that front. So.
Yeah, I am expert in all things of the arcane.
I noticed we were just saying that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. No one fucking scry on this thing. There's a hissing thing on the other end of it. Walks out into the kitchen again.
I will follow as well. Yeah, no, I know normally tenants not, no offense, darling, the most trusted source of magical information. Don't do that. It fucking hurt. Whatever it was forced me out.
Sam
painfully.
is sat at the kitchen table. She kind of looks up and blinks and goes, "Yeah, weird. I don't know. It is a coin. You know that. It's a coin. It wasn't like minted. It wasn't like it was. I think summoned.
And there's no like magic spell that's making it grow back that we can't tell. It's just
No, it's not. It's like it's not giving off magic, but it's like its origins are magical. I don't know. It's weird. I've never. But also, I'm really inexperienced. I'm still learning, so like maybe
You're perfect and amazing, and no one can cast Identify like you can.
Thank you.
First of all.
Well, that's sorry. It wasn't any more help. But yeah, it was.
Thanks for trying.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna go put a bra on, and then guess we can go.
Since when?
If we have to run, I don't want them flopping about. We have to run a lot. I hate it. It hurt.
Right. Not my problem.
Didette puts her bra on. Lieutenant puts some pants on. Sam will stay behind with the kids.
Before they head out, as everybody's kind of like gone off to just like get dressed, I think if Ruby can catch a moment with Radella, like in the garden maybe before they like leave.
Yeah, I think Radella's been pacing.
Yeah.
Just waiting.
Yeah, just as per usual, materializes behind your shoulder. Right, sorry. Look, I know what it feels like to know that someone's been looking at you and knowing about you that you don't want to know. And if you would like, I can make them unable to do it for at least 8 hours. If that would set your mind at ease a bit.
Does Radella know what you're talking about?
Yeah, non-detection.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think for a second Radella just kind of like, I don't know how much that might help, but I would appreciate it nonetheless.
Right. Kind of digs into one of the little pouches in her fucking like Batman utility belt, and pulls out just like I think this spell uses like fucking diamond dust or some shit. We're rich, we have that. Just that, and then I think also just like plucks a couple of other like herbs from the garden and in her hand kind of like crushes them all up together. And God, Radella's so fucking tall, so she does have to like reach a little bit on her tiptoes. Just like circling around them, sprinkling some of this over them a little, just like, don't breathe this in. There's diamond, it's diamond in it. It'll like destroy your nasal passages. So just like, don't breathe for a sec. And we'll cast the spell, and for like a half a second, Radella go like black and white movie, like the color just kind of like fades and then comes back. slightly muted. Like the temperature is like slightly off.
Very cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think Rodella becomes marginally less jittery.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she just kind of like reaches out and like just kind of like rests a hand on your shoulder and squeezes it.
I know everyone's trying to get me to step out.
Oop,
Stepping into
out.
fuck. Fuck. I keep playing these characters with soft voices, and it's kind of fucking me over. I know everyone's always encouraging me to step out of the shadows, but they are pretty comfortable most of the time. It's not a bad place to be.
I will take your advice.
Enjoy.
Is everyone ready to go?
Can I make a selfish request? Like, what is everyone's battle outfits as we, or like their outfits as we go into like? Because I feel like this is like we're back, right? Like we're back.
What's everyone look like right now?
You're right.
We have to do our like
we've
Peaky
all geared
Blinders
up.
family
Yeah.
walk up the center of town.
I do think Tennant is in a cable knit jumper and like comfortable pants because they're still kind of like they've spent the last 3 days in a bloodied pirate shirt and now they're like back at home. They're like, I can kill a guy in a sweater. Like, don't. I'm fine. So that is his battle outfit.
Rodella is in whatever clothes. I think she's still wearing like her like shirt that she went to bed in, so it's like just some kind of like nighty shirt or whatever, but it's just like unbuttoned to here, and she's tucked it into some like breeches and thrown on some suspenders, and she grabbed her coat.
Nadette's wearing a bra.
He's wearing a bra and nothing else. No, Nadette is wearing like a gray vest over her bra. And then like a whole bunch of necklaces kind of mesh, arms out, and then like some high-waisted like gray leather pants and like huge lace-up boots, rings on, bracelets on, hair immaculately done, and has just illusioned magic on because she did only have 10 minutes. So like if you look close enough you can tell that it's like illusory magic, but like big winged eyeliner, glitter, black lipstick, yeah.
Ironically, in a striking moment of same brain, I was actually going to say the exact same thing that Jess did. I think that Rose is in Rose is in a sweater that Rose bought for Tennant, and then he's never worn because she's stolen it every day since. It's just like a little oversized sweater, and I think like the nicest fantasy sweatpants they own, and like white hair still up in a claw clip, because I really think she got the base amount of sleep. Just a hot mom kind of energy today.
My wife. And Riva.
Yeah.
I think Riva's like low-key, there's so much dirty laundry that's been piling up at the estate that she's kind of like in an kind of retro looking like shirt and pant combo. Like kind of like classic, kind of like looking like a pirate.
Yeah. Dirty laundry both metaphorically and physically. So you guys can wait.
I think Ruby.
Ah,
It's okay. I know. Everybody always forgets the middle child. It's fine. No, Ruby's in. She's in
black. Oh my god.
It's just black cargo shorts, a tank top. She's got these like black leather bracers on her arm, cloak tied over her shoulders as usual to hide. Oh my god, so many knives and so many weapons on her body.
Sorry for trying to get past you there.
It's okay. I know it was on purpose.
It was. So you guys can Peaky Blinders slow-mo walk your way over to town. You going straight to the printing press? Yeah? It's a fairly small building. Windows have been boarded up ever since, again, you've lived on this planet. I think basically what you know of this building, it kind of used to be in operation at the same time that the Dorithium was this industrial kind of like warehouse-led planet full of lots of, you know, workers and machinery making a lot of different textiles, doing a lot of different trade, until, of course, magical technology kind of like made all of their machinery obsolete. And so lots of people kind of like left the planet in search of, you know, different career paths, and there was no real community here anymore and no need for a newspaper, and it's not something that as of yet you've ever started up again. So front windows of this are boarded up. Above is a very weathered age sign that says Dorithium Printing Press, and inside are kind of these probably makeshift shelves that either Rodella or Tennant has kind of like quickly like bolted together out of like scrap pieces of wood. There's a bunch of different assorted kind of like books, and that's kind of like in the first kind of like entryway, kind of the reception area, as you will. And kind of like behind this reception desk, you can see there's a door that leads out to the back of the printing press, where an actual newspaper kind of printing machine, very kind of old, rusted, hasn't been used in years, is. And there's other kind of like a couple of other little doors probably leading to like back offices and stuff like that. So you may do what you wish.
Kick the door.
Do it.
Yeah, what are you looking for as you kind of like approach this building?
Yeah, I think Rodella's just scanning everywhere, just seeing if she can see anyone. And I think is just kind of like heading straight in.
Nadette's gonna circle around the back.
Just
I'm going with Nadette. Nobody goes alone.
I think as we're walking, I'm just sort of generally keeping up like a detect magic. Like the 10 minutes expires and I put it back up. Also, as we pass like the front of what's new, can I just like peek in and make sure everything looks normal in there?
Yeah, looks exactly as you last left it, kind of before you left the planet.
Cool.
Rodella, as you kind of are the first person to enter this reception area, what is it you're looking for?
anything unusual, anyone, and any loose leaf papers scattered around with my history on it. I think, yeah, just looking for anything unusual.
Make a perception check.
Ooh. Yeah, not bad. 21. She's hyper focused.
You don't really notice anything out of place initially. The books are kind of like where you left them last, other than maybe as you're particularly scrutinizing these books, like one or two have kind of been left and replaced, but not books that particularly stand out to you. They're just kind of like nondescript fiction books or random autobiographies of various people. Kind of the sort of kind of like standard books you find in like a community library. Do you head further in, or are you kind of...
I mean, yeah, if I don't see anything unusual here, I'm gonna keep plowing ahead.
Sure. Just to check, Rose, Tennant's following. Rose, are you also with them?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of sticking with the group going in the front. Can I ask how many books are in here, just like roughly?
Maybe like 20 to 30.
Okay, so not like a huge amount that would cover if like something new was in here?
No.
Cool. Then I will not do my funky thing, because I'll start kind of like going through, and I think very methodically, like looking through the books, remembering like this experience that Rodella had with the book that was like changed into like Dorithium history. I'll just start kind of like sitting and very methodically going through the books and leafing around.
Yeah. Rodella, you kind of move around the kind of front desk and into the back room, where this big newspaper printing machine is. Make an investigation check.
Oof, that's Nate.
Yeah, I think you're so focused on finding any more like copies of this newsletter that was dropped at your front door that you're not really like looking for anything else. And as far as you can see, there are no other copies of this piece of paper.
That shit just keeps like kicking around. Stressed.
Ruby and Nadir, what are you guys doing?
I mean, Nadette is circling to see if there's like a back door, or to like make sure nobody's gonna like sneak out a window or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, out the back there is indeed a back door, but there's kind of like two kind of like planks of wood, kind of like nail gunned like across the back of it, just to prevent anyone kind of like, I don't know, breaking and entering, heaven forbid, on this planet.
Pull on them, make sure they're like actually bolted in the wall.
Yep. They're pretty loose. Not hard to maybe like pry off, but yeah.
Love to go in the back and just see where that leads.
Sure. Is Nadette with her new muscles prizing these?
I was gonna say, yeah, because it ain't me, brother. It ain't me.
Yeah, just gonna like be like, oh god, whoever did this did terribly, and just like rip it off the wall. Go back up, rip the other one.
The wood splinters in your hand as you kind of like toss it to the side down the back alleyway, and you can enter the back office of this building. It looks like a pretty standard kind of like business office. It's fairly small. This isn't a large building, but it is kind of like one floor. And there's just in this office, there's a lot of different cabinets, like filing cabinets.
Are there? Would love to start poking around. I'm specifically looking for like old like proofs and copies of papers that came out before this place shut down.
Sure, yeah. Make an investigation check.
Yeah, okay. It's exciting.
Just gonna push file cabinets to the side if possible and make sure there's no like secret doors or tunnels behind any of them.
You do not
been
find
burned
any
before.
secret doors or tunnels. That's so bad. Though.
No suspiciously placed paintings on the wall.
Yeah, just kinda, like,
Now that you mention
knocking. You know, anything's hollow.
I got an 18 investigation.
Yeah, quite easily you kind of like yank open these metal like filing cabinets that kind of like make this horrible shrieking noise as the rusted metal kind of like scrapes. And you see neatly filed by year a bunch of old proofs and copies of when this place was up and running, when this was an active factory planet. Yeah, you kind of can rifle through a few of the newspapers. All of the headlines are fairly monotonous and mundane. It's kind of like usually like updates about the factories, about the workers.
Okay.
Nothing stands out.
Do I know how many years ago the date on like the most recent one I can find would be? Like roughly?
The most recent one is around about a century ago.
Whoa, okay. Slay. Alright.
Yeah, this planet was empty for a long time before you got here.
Okay. Cool. Well, these are all insanely boring.
I'm shocked. This was such a bustling place to live.
I know, yeah. Really need a lot of journalistic prowess to work here, I suppose. I don't know, should we be
maybe-
looking for anything else?
I don't know. There's no secret doors or tunnels. I'm gonna kind of stomp the floor. Does it sound hollow? Is there a trapdoor underground?
Nadette, one of the planks shifts underneath your boot.
No fucking way.
Go. Oh.
Spoke
God
too
damn
soon?
it. This better just be. I swear to God. I was just gonna go down and try and rip it out of the floor.
Yeah, fairly easily. I think the only reason it kind of like sticks in your hands is simply because of the age of this place. But after a little bit of wiggling, this kind of loose plank comes away from the floorboard, leaving this kind of like empty pocket in the foundations of the building. And in it is a box.
I hate when I'm right. God damn it. I'm
Just
gonna
be
go
taking pictures of something. You never know.
Oh, I hope so. Take the box out and set it on a desk so we both can look at it together.
It's locked.
God.
Well, not for much longer. I got fucking lockpicks on the head.
Whilst you're working on this, Riva, Rodella, Rose, what are you doing in the front room?
I have a wacky question. This is an old building. Have any plants wormed their way into this building, like in the cracks? There is a reason I'm asking this. I'm not going to for fun.
Yeah, let's say there's kind of some like crawling ivy kind of like growing through the cracks of the walls.
Slay. Can I walk up to the ivy? I would love to cast Speak with Plants
Yeah.
in this moment. And just kind of look up and I go, "Hi, beautiful."
Hi.
That's the best voice that could have come out. Are you well? Do you need anything? Can I ask you a question? But first, do you need anything? Do you have water?
Tired.
Tired? Do you want more sun? I can probably get someone to put in a window.
No.
Okay. Well, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Well, thank you. It's very generous. Has anyone sort of been in here lately? Maybe I'll kind of point back in the area where the printing press is, using that big old machine, maybe slinking around, being sneaky.
Machine?
The large plant over there. It should be loud. It's not a plant. Has anyone been in here lately other than us? I guess we'll leave it there.
No people.
Any animals, or did it get really cold in here? Like colder than usual?
Bird.
A bird? Was it like the normal birds around here, or was it red?
For just a second, you hear Tennant behind you going, "Are you speaking to?" I hate to interrupt. Are you speaking to the ivy? Just yes or no. Just blink once for yes. No.
Just
Yeah.
Look over my shoulder. And just give him a look that's like, "Of course I am. What's wrong with you?"
Yeah. As you were.
Apparently there was a bird in here recently. I'm getting the information.
The ivy goes inside.
Inside. Okay, was it do I have fucking minor illusion? Can plants even see? I don't know how plant physics work, but just in case it works, I'll minor illusion a crow. Did it look like this?
No.
out of an abundance of caution, I will add an extra 2 legs.
No.
I will minor illusion the parrot. Like this?
Yes.
Right. What was it? Did it do anything in here?
Not sure.
Okay. And it was alone?
Just flapping around.
Flapping around. Right, okay. I will turn over my shoulder to Ted and go, apparently just flapping around in here. Do we have any other questions? I don't.
What was flapping around? I can't speak plant. Sorry.
I think the minor illusion of the parrot is still up. I'll just.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's alright.
Yeah. What? So that the red parrot was in here, flapping around.
Flapping around was the terminology. Apparently alone, maybe, but the plant is not certain what it was doing, other than flapping around.
You hear the plant go, brick.
Brick?
Brick? What?
Sorry, I meant to ask the plant that. Brick?
Brick.
Did it have a brick, or did it take
Yes.
Did it... Can I, like, very quickly turn and peek? Are there, like, loose bricks anywhere in here?
Oh.
From in here? Did it bring it in?
Yes.
Okay. Turn over my shoulder to Tenet. Apparently it had a brick. Brought a brick in.
Yeah, okay. Tanner just like walks over to this like big printing machine because it's a machine and that's all he knows, and just kind of like starts like
you know what, good for them.
just kind of like starts very interested, kind of like figuring out how it works. I'm gonna make a weird little Tanner check about it. Oh, that's good. So immediately, I think maybe spends about 2 to 3 minutes, kind of like you hear kind of like a couple of clankings and a couple of like grinding of gears, and then they just kind of like pull a lever, and this thing kind of like makes this ungodly like, and it's like Jesus, and there's this like thing starts whirring to life, and then it goes, oh, I did it! Fuck yeah! Mom, look at this!
Immediately, I think I come over.
I did it. We could have our newspaper. Sorry. More importantly, kind of like pulls the lever again, and it kind of like whirs to a stop. There's a plate in there.
Rodella.
Yeah.
Rodella, you can quite easily kind of like snake your hand through the kind of different like machinery parts of this and pull free a metal plate, upon which, kind of reversed, mirrored, is the article that you read this morning.
Okay.
The ivy goes, brick.
Oh, I will, from like the other side of this room with no context for those of you who just walked in, I'll go, that's the brick that the bird was flapping around with. It's apparently, it thinks it's a brick. Good. Turn to the plant. Good job. Thank you, you've been very helpful. I will leave you to your rest now, but you have a good nap, and I'll go join the group.
Okay. Where did you get this from?
Very quickly, could you do a quick investigation to see what this plate, like, is this plate made out of? Is it a gold plate that's made out of weird, wacky metal? Sorry.
You don't even need to make it. From just looking at it, this is like, I don't fucking know what metal they're made out of. It's not gold though. It's like a silvery,
it's not
maybe steel or iron.
Standing printing press plate material, not like a conspiratorial magical gold.
Make a perception check to kind of like see if you can ascertain anything else about this.
I might do an investigation just because it feels a little bit. I might want to
Sure.
investigate it.
Yeah, of course.
To do something about it. Even though that's worse for me. That is a 15 though.
Okay, so with that, I think you're kind of like examining this plate, and you look up and you see stacked to the side of this printing press are more plates. But this one is smaller and notably newer than the other plates. The other plates look as old as this fucking machine itself. They're almost like kind of like that copper kind of rusting has kind of like stuck them all together in like a tower as if they have not been moved in at least a century. And the one you have here is, not new and shiny by any means, but definitely newer than 100 years old.
This is me being like what does this mean? What does this mean?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I want to shirk my responsibilities and hand this clue over to Rodella. But really, I think what Riva does is she holds the plate, and I think actually shows it to Rodella.
I think if she's looking at this and it looks like not brand new, she's gonna try and figure out if it's basically, I think she wants to figure out if it's this was something that was it wasn't just created now to fuck with her. This is something that they took from when it happened.
Sure, make an investigation check.
Okay.
Or perception, up to you.
I'm gonna do perception. 14.
14. It's not very hard. I think you kind of your eyes kind of stuck on the print on the front of this and the kind of raised embossing on the front of this plate, and you kind of turn it over, and on the back of it you do see a date, and it says year 725, which is the year Henry died and also the year that you burnt down your own home. And underneath the date is the embossed marker of, or the embossed kind of insignia of your hometown.
So somebody stole this fucking plate.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think she just kind of stares at it for a minute. She looks up at Riva and Rose and Tennant, and she just says, this was taken from my hometown.
Is that nearby?
No.
Just checking.
I guess what I'm trying to say is whoever's doing this didn't just find something out about me and decide to print it. I don't know if it's somebody who knows me. I don't know if it was somebody who was there. I don't know where they found this or how, but this is an original article about me.
Ruby and Adette. You making a check to lockpick this box?
The dead is because I lied. I don't actually have lockpicks.
Okay.
I thought I did.
Please make me a sleight of hand check with your proficiency.
Absolutely. Is a 10 on the die, and I remember I have wild sleight of hand. Plus 12, so it's a 22.
Jesus Christ.
Easily
My
enough.
sister.
Very easily. The lock kind of like pops open and like with such force, because again, like I think the rusted age has kind of like been holding it together more than the actual lock mechanism has. It kind of springs apart, and you know that like there's no way you're getting that to like lock again.
Right.
And you open the box, and inside is a relatively small file with a number of pieces of paper in it.
Gonna pick it up, open it, kind of turns so I'm standing next to Ruby so Ruby can also look at it.
Yeah, leaning over her shoulder.
Before you open it, you recognize immediately on the front, and kind of like almost like stamped onto the front, is the address of your house, of the Crowcolt estate.
Oh, okay. Normal. Remind me, Jess, was the house was there when we got there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The other thing you notice, the file, the kind of like the paper it's made out of, card, that's the word, is old but still kind of like together. The papers inside, you notice as soon as you kind of like start to kind of pull them free from the sheath, they are so delicate. Like the paper that they are made out of feels so thin and so aged that you're worried that they might even kind of like crumble in your hand. And you also can tell that like this paper is like less paper and more parchment. It is that old, like really fucking old, like well over 100 years old.
Huh.
I think Nadette will like set the like go over and set it down on like the top of a filing cabinet or a table or something, and so they can like gently pull the thing out and
Just
be like,
place them.
yeah. Ruby, do you take pictures on your phone in
Yeah,
case these
sure.
disintegrate in front of us?
Yeah.
And start going
Start.
through it.
Snatching shots.
Sure. So the first piece of paper that you look at. Give me 2 seconds. So the first piece of paper that you look at, again, has the address of the Crowcolt estate at the top of it. And as you kind of like read through, you realize that this is the original planning permission documents for the building of your house. And the second piece of paper underneath that are the original deeds to the house, the original owner of this house. And the name is Lennox Moore.
Lennox Moore. Okay.
That's LENNOXMOORE.
Oh my god, that was my 3rd grade teacher's last name. That's crazy. Anyway.
My 4th grade teacher's last name was
Connecting the
Moore.
dots!
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Jess, how did you know that?
Oh.
Huh.
Kinda
You know
yell.
this person?
Have I?
Either. Probably
No, I'm not even going to make you make
No.
a history check. No.
Yeah.
no.
I'm just gonna kind of yell back like, we've got something not dangerous, so don't come in freaking out.
Tennant's been kind of like staring at this plant and is like, yeah. Like, pulls himself away from the ivy and walks into the back office to meet you. As do the rest of you, I assume?
Yeah, as soon as you say something.
You see Nadette and Ruby kind of like laying out these pieces of parchment on the office desk.
What's this?
It's all very old, but this is permits to start building the house, our house, and a deed under a name.
Which
Linux more.
really is weird because we should have the deed. Right? Did no one get that when you moved in?
You do
I think we
have
kinda
just
just took
your
the
house. It's
house.
just this is you made your own. There was no one to kind of like sign it over.
We just kind of took it.
Could we
Yeah.
do a quick check of, like, assuming these are the planning documents, I'm assuming there's going to be like architect's drawings of like what the house or property looks like, right?
That was gonna be my next question.
Yes.
I think we make eyes click. Like, can we check to see if the plans line up with our house?
Mhm.
Like, if
You can.
Are there holes in the walls?
Tunnels in the wall. There's wall space.
You do see kind of like the third piece of paper as you kind of like scan it is the original floor plans to the Crowcolt estate, which is you kind of spend a couple of minutes inspecting. They do look identical to the current layout of your home. You really didn't do a huge amount of extending. It was a large, grand home when you got into it, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but Rodella was very much like insistent on keeping the natural character
The architecture.
and the architectural integrity of the home. So you didn't do a bunch of expanding, not that you really needed to. But
Just some fortifying.
you don't see any plans for like a crypt or like tunnels, but you do see, as you keep kind of like swiping through these pages, you see a few pages of blueprints headed with a different logo, let's say, not a name, but almost like a watermark like you'd find on headed paper that says Midas Enterprises. And I would,
fuck yeah.
whoever wants to make it, make me like investigation or maybe just raw intelligence if you want to kind of figure out what these blueprints are showing you.
yes.
Can I just argue something?
Yeah.
Can I argue advantage because I own an antique business with Rose, and so might have come across old names in blueprints and stuff before, because those are antique.
I would say unless you are specifically engineered, like if you have an engineering brain, these are technical, like architectural blueprints. These aren't like
Got it.
antiques documents. But Reva, this is definitely in your line of work, and this is definitely in Tennant's line of work as well.
Not mine. I got a 6.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Is the seal the same seal or sigil or thing on the coin?
The M is identical.
Do I even have to roll now?
Do it anyway,
Alright,
please. Your
It's a
intelligence
very
is so
low
high.
DC, don't
That's
worry.
fine, that's fine.
You can see you connecting the dots, it's okay.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
Oh my
yeah.
god! Oh my god!
That's
Reva,
my mud.
almost in a Sherlockian mind palace way, these blueprints kind of lift off the page and start piecing themselves together in front of your mind's eye. As you read the layout and the plans and the blueprints for a set of mining tunnels underneath the planet.
Let's go spelunking.
And I think that is where we're going to end our session. Join us next time on Crow Lane for a bit of spelunking.
Go watch The Descent between now and next week, and then get back to me, guy. I don't know if you're gonna be scared, but also in a much other sense, do.
And we'll see you next week. Caw-caw!